Okay. I believe that should be working now. It's gonna take a while. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, it's working. Yeah. Damn, 7 people already. That is quick. No, hold up, guys. I gotta do something real quick first. I was not expecting that many people to join so early. So I got a new headset, new mic, so hopefully my voice won't be as terrible as it was the first time. Because holy lord, my headset was falling apart. I'll show y'all in just a second. Like it was clinging on for dear life. I'm telling you. So now this is connected. There I am. Oh my god. Okay, so I have my stream playing on the side there. Now that this is working. Okay. Now, how do I shrink it down? uh, there we go. Professional stream work right here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so the border's right there, and then I can squeeze this to be around like here. Oh, I can't make it smaller? Ah, shit, that's fine. No biggie. Okay, so that can go right about here. Can I flip it? Yeah. Yeah. Hey. This is so stupid. Great. So, yeah, look, I upped up my game. So now we got live chat, and we got my camera. Wait, what's going on? Oh, wait, okay, never mind. I'm just adjusting the settings. Basically, like, I have a display of the stream, but it's, like, really far behind, so I might confuse myself sometimes. 22 people! Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be a short but fun... Okay, actually, hold up. Now that I can see chat... Hey, what up, Magma? We should actually talk about a thing, because, what was his name? Aiden Scotsman, he was telling me that 2016 is extremely short because there's only 16 levels, and I could just do 2016 and 2017 together, and then I could do 2018 and 2019 together, and then I would just do 2020 all the way to 2022. So that would be 3 videos from before Minimax's time, and if I did 2017 with 2016, that means that we would take about, like, I don't know, 2 hours to 2.5 hours. There'd be about, like, 25 levels, I think. Somewhere in that range. Wait a minute, hold up. 20, I can't do math. 16, what's 16 plus, 20, 36, holy shit, actually. No, okay. So if we did 2016 and 2017, then that would be, like, 35 levels. So that's kind of a lot. Like, I don't think y'all understand. I did co-creation season 1, and that was 23 levels, I think, or 24 levels, and that took like 2 hours. So if we do 35 levels, like this, we're gonna be here all day. We're going to be here forever. And I already know that, like, by the time I'm done with the live stream, all the people who started it will be gone, and then it'll just be replaced with a completely new audience, because I know no one is gonna be sticking around for like 3 hours straight. That would be a nightmare, bro. What? Jet, it's like censoring your chats. Okay, let me test my mic muting work. Censoring your chats. Okay, let me test my mic muting work. Okay, good. It works. I was trying to watch my stream and see if my mic was able to turn off, so in case anyone, like my brother or my parents, burst into my room, I'll be able to just quickly mute stream so that y'all will not hear any vital information about myself. Anyway, so, okay, listen. I know I'm really quiet, but like, I just have no way of controlling it. Like my mic volume is as high as it can possibly go, and yeah, so I'm trying to look at myself back on stream. There's literally no way for me to like make myself louder. I really don't know how to do it. Like I turned up the volume on OBS, I've turned up the volume on my headset itself, and then I tried to do a bunch of Bluetooth stuff. I tested this last night, and it's just not. I don't know what to do, bro. Like I don't know how this is gonna work. Okay, so it should be fine. I'm using my phone to do this, by the way. Let me see if I can show y'all. This is gonna be super trippy. See, I have my phone set up and plugged back into my PC because I can't afford an actual webcam. Okay. Hopefully I don't breathe into the mic too much. God, that's loud. Okay, so that can be there. Okay. Hey, ba-da-dum boom. Okay. Hold up. Every time I mute myself, it's because I have to uncontrollably cough. Just keep that in mind. Who the hell is messaging me? Oh no. Completely unrelated situation, but someone is currently spamming me for a hell of a boss incident. Wait, I need to just test something. God, it's so loud. The breathing is so bad, bro. I think, okay, I don't know if I have to buy this, but I might have to, like, buy an addition to make my microphone not just ear rape you whenever I breathe into it. Hopefully if I do this, maybe it might be a little bit better. I don't know. God, it's so loud. The breathing is so bad, bro. I think, okay, I don't know if I have to buy this, but I might have to, like... Okay, well, it doesn't seem, like, unbearable as long as I just don't aggressively breathe into the mic. So we should be fine. What do you mean update my list? It's right here. I have the list. Am I, like, slow? What do you mean update my list? I love how, like, we can actually, like, see chat on stream now, so it just isn't just a void of only this tab here with a ranking on it. What do you mean update my list? It's right here. I have the list. Am I, like, slow? Okay, I'm just going back through chat in case I... Trailblazing is, wait a minute. So if this update is July something... Oh, no, we'll come out next update. At least that's what the original schedule, or like the original as in like made a week from now, but like the original schedule was for it to come this update, but now it should come on the 25th. Okay. There actually is a noise suppression on my headset, but I don't know how to currently turn it off or turn it on. Are you keeping the update on Legendary Racing just so that you can play the original Polar Night Wandering? That's really commendable. I'm glad you like it. But I mean, like, is it that good? Is it really that good? I mean, like, I think it's alright. I think it's probably the best route that I've made. But that's not saying much because I also did make atrocities like Fate and Technotica that were carried by the hype and actually had terrible routes. So I think Polar Night Wandering is actually probably my best level ever made. Who put Volcano into the playlist? Okay, well, I don't know if you know this, but Volcano is part of the original 5, so it has to be there. And I have some interesting things to say about Volcano. Wait, what the hell? Okay, if this person does not stop DMing me, I'm going to actually lose my shit. I mean, okay, guys, let's be real here for a second. Like, I love Fate as much as the next guy. I'll still rewatch it every now and then because, like, I just like how it kind of parallels the Rolling Sky 2 Fate, and I just like how I used a bunch of unused objects at the time, like the faded piano key. So, I mean, like, I'm still satisfied with the level, and I wouldn't change it. But the reality is that, like, from a gameplay standpoint, it's really not that great. Let's be honest here. Like, the beginning is a bunch of spammed blocks and risers, and it's all just a 4-lane section where you have to go in between the two stacked right next to each other, and then it transitions into this horrible second floor drop atrocity. And I think like the drop is actually alright, but then it transitions into the Joker theme, and I'm telling y'all right now, it looks cool on video. The amount of attempts I had to do that, especially on PC, was a nightmare. Like, that part is so difficult. The difficulty spike is ridiculous. And then it transitions into more 2-block stuff, same from the beginning. And then I actually think that the part where I use the hats with the birds in them, that's probably like the best part. It's the most like high quality part, even though I use absolutely no glass. And then we go, oh my god, bro, don't even get me started with the rest of the level. Like, then we go into the main poker theme, and it is just, I don't even want to explain why it's so bad. There's just an empty void, and then, like, I just spammed a bunch of cube rotating things because I try to mirror the ballerina stuff from the original level. And then I think the ending is, like, it works, but again, it's just super messy. There's a void, and it's just kind of eh. And the ghosts obviously have no place in the level. I don't even know why I'm, like, yapping about my own level. I'm just saying that, like, the whole thing is that a lot of the levels I've made are super iconic and really well loved, but the reality is that, like, from a route making standpoint, they're I don't know if I can defend them. Okay. Well, I've been yapping way too much. Oh my god. What? Okay. Oh, okay, guys. So just like type this in the chat. Chat, I have to ask you a question. Are we gonna do just 2016, or are we gonna try and do 2017? 2016 is gonna take like an hour and a bit. 2017 is gonna take like 3 hours. If we do 2016 and 2017, we're going to be here for 3 hours. Like, it is going to be a long stream, relatively. I know it's quiet because I can't turn up my mic volume. I'm sorry. You just have to take your volume and turn it really high up. That's the only way you can fix this. I'm sorry. Oh. Oh, I don't know where Aiden Scott's win is going, but he is leaving. Why do y'all do this to me, bro? Oh, I'm either seeing I don't care, or I'm seeing no. Hugo, you're gonna do 2016 and 2017. Fine. Yeah, fine. Okay, let's see if I can change the title before we get into it so people aren't confused if they open the stream and then I'm just doing 2017. Ranking all 2016 to 2017 levels, Rolling Sky, and then I'll just change the thumbnail later. Actually, you know what? Let's change the thumbnail right now because I'm just that kind of a person. Trust me, it's super easy. y'all can change it with me. Okay. So, chat. Here's my Keynote PowerPoint presentation app, and all we gotta do is just tap this and edit it to 2016 to 2017. Oh, yep, now we're talking. Okay, double tap this, 2016 to 2017. There we go. It might be mirrored on your end because I had to mirror the camera so it doesn't look weird. Screenshot it. Open up YouTube Studio, throw it in there. It's as simple as baking a pie. Wait a minute. Okay, never mind. Ranking all 2016 to 2017 levels. Oh, well, I mean, so let's see. If I do that, oh, I just realized I have no idea to tell how far apart they are. Okay, never mind. I'm fine. Yeah. I can't believe it reset my description as well. It's kind of annoying. That means I'm going to have to change it later. But I think I just changed the title and thumbnail, so we should be fine. Okay, listen. Everyone keeps like thinking that like, oh, you picked such a weird year. Why would you pick 2016? No. Shh. I'm picking 2016, then I'm doing 2017, then I'm doing 2018, 2019, 2020, 2022, then 2023, then 2024, then 2025. And probably by the end of 2025, that's when I'll make the 2025 live stream. And every single live stream, I'll make first the list with just the levels of that year, and then I'll combine the list with all the other levels before then. So you'll have a list of just the year, and then you'll have a list of every single level up to that point. So you get both types of tier rankings in one live stream, which, yeah. Well, I'm not resetting the stream. Like, the stream is still going to be going, but I just changed the title and thumbnail. So now people know, hopefully, that we're doing both 2016 and 2017. But I don't think you'll understand. It's currently 11 a.m. for me, and I haven't eaten anything. So I might have to just, like, dip from stream real quick to just grab, like, a bagel or something, just to keep my energy up for the next 2 hours from that point onward. Throw my tablet out the window. No, I was reconstructing the thumbnail. Also, in case y'all wondering what this shirt says, because it's backwards, it says Dubrovnik, because it's in what is that place called? It was in Croatia. It's a really nice place, kind of underrated. No one goes there. It's like a European vacation beach spot. Some of the 2016 levels are surprisingly good for some. Well, that's why we're here, Chad. That's exactly why we're here. Also, in case y'all are wondering, you're right here, and behind y'all is a screenshot from the 2023 Summer Health Boss episode, Queen Bee. Of course, it is simply the best episode of all time because, Beelzebub is the best individual of all time. And I'm definitely not just yapping out of my ass here. There we go. Which country do I live in? I live in Texas, in the United States of America. To say that most 2016 levels are peak is kind of a point of contention, but here's what we're going to do. This is our 2016, maybe 2017 live stream, and, this is mostly my opinion, but it takes into account everything. Not just the routes, textures, and music, but it also takes into account, the creativity level, the originality relative to all the other levels before it. So that's why I'm doing this in chronological order, because, for example, I can't say, oh my god, Westland is so cool because it introduces falling tiles. No, it doesn't introduce them. Those have been used since E-Labyrinth. But then when it comes to E-Labyrinth, I will give it extra points for introducing that because of how, useful it is in the modern day. 1UP will also get a massive boost because it introduced the super jump, which is, extremely necessary in 99% of routes, especially in ones like Spectre or Magic House or Marshmallow alone. But even in the good levels, you still need something like that too, just so you can skip over collectible routes in the easy path. Bro, I do not hate Minimax. Oh wait, he's stuck in a magenta bottle. Who? I can't see this guy. Michael Joshua Ama? I cannot speak that language. I'm very sorry. I was literally on a call with Goldkeeping last night, and I was going through all the levels in the live stream, and I mentioned Massif, and of course this stupid guy just pointed out Massif, because guys, do you get it? Do you know what else is massive, chat? Oh my god, 33 people. Lord have mercy. I feel like this is like a gamble. Like, I don't know when to start the actual ranking because I don't know if more people are going to join or if people are going to leave. Oh my god. Something on the side of my nose here. Are donations open? Hell no. Don't give me any money, bro. How do I open up donations anyway? Yeah, that's a challenge for another day. I don't think y'all understand. Setting up this stream is like way more complicated than it should be. Like, I had to do all this. I had to put all these little tiles together to make it look this way. It looks so basic, but this took so long to set up. You don't understand. I had to connect my mic. I had to connect my phone to become my webcam. It's some terrible stuff, dude. And I had to Bluetooth up my headset as well, which I don't typically do. But I think that might be the cause for why I'm so quiet. Unfortunately, there's no other way. I can't connect it via wire. It has to be Bluetooth. What do you think about the fact that the editor was leaked again? I didn't know it was leaked, but if it is, I'm not gonna be surprised if who is it? Candy Girl leaked it, because if it's the Twilight Karst Cave bonus update, then yeah, it's probably Candy Girl, and that would make sense because again, Candy Girl's level was obliterated for stupid fucking reasons, and then the replacement was 10 times worse. So I completely understand Candy Girl's frustration. However, I did not know that it was leaked until just now, so that's some news for me. Oh, Harpalike, you're gonna beat all these levels before we're done here, because we're gonna be here a long time. Okay, let's stop messing around. Ranking time. If I ever make a video where I show this live stream, I'm gonna pretend that the stream just started here. Hey guys, I'm back again. Declan Hugo. We're gonna be ranking. Sorry, I can't do it. But I'll just like cut it to make it sound like I'm being more through line and not acting like an NPC. So we're gonna be ranking in all the 2016 levels, maybe 2017. We'll figure out later. Also, why is my camera just dying? Oh my gosh, bro. Okay. My phone might actually die. No, actually we're fine. Although I don't know if it'll last 3 hours, so I might have to turn it tough. Anyway. Okay. I've been dragging on for long enough. Let's just get started. Everything, the creativity, the originality, and my phone. Oh my god, why does my phone keep getting? What is happening? Why is my phone getting like caught in a loop of being connected and disconnected? What the hell is happening? Okay, I don't know what's going on with my camera, but my camera might shut off like every now and then. What the fuck is? Just shut up. Just stop. Yeah, so my phone camera's just dead. Like, it's not working too well. Okay, well, I have to fix this now, don't I? I don't know what's going on, because it should be, like there's literally no reason it shouldn't work, because it's connected with a wire, so there's no possible excuse. Unless the wire's slightly disconnected. Hold this. Nope, it's fine. I don't know what's going on there, bro. Bro, my phone is holding on for dear life. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. Oh my god, bro. It's moving at like 1 frame a second. It's gone. Okay. Oh my god. So much yapping. Okay, so y'all know what the whole rules are. And also, by the way, this is mostly my opinion, but if I hear a bunch of people saying, like, no, move a level up or down, even if you don't give an explanation, I'll probably just listen to you, and I'll, like, move it somewhere. Anyway, let's get started. Oh my god, we've wasted so much time. Whew. Also, thanks to, let's see, thanks to Quartz for making this. It's a very nice list, has all the levels. it has some old levels, and right now we're just gonna be using the original forest, or like we're gonna be using the one where they added crowns, but not the mini level forest, because we have very different opinions on that level, don't we? Okay, Massif. This is what I mean by 2016 is like the hardest year to do because it's the longest time ago, and like I don't want to say the levels are bad from today. Like, let's be real, if Massif came out in 2025, we would not be appreciating this level. Ignore the camera, it's just gonna die like that. So, uh, you know what? This might be the only time I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say that Massif is actually good, like relative to every other level in the game. I still think it's good because it is just quite literally a perfect introduction level. The routes are nothing spectacular. It doesn't even have movers, but I think that it introduces everything perfectly. Starts off with one single object, the riser, the most iconic object in the game, and then it adds glass over time, then it adds stompers, and then it adds the spinny things, and then it just showcases a lot of the different range of themes. So it just goes from like the mountain setting, then to the sky purple thing, whatever the hell that's supposed to be, and then it goes into the forest, then the disco, and I just think that like it's a really nice showcase of what to expect from the game. Obviously, the themes are a lot more high quality nowadays, but the level gets its job done, and I think that the way it introduces the sliding tiles, like not just throwing them at you like Cloud does, but I think that Massif does it really well. It introduces the rollers, the disco lights, the laser cannons. It's really just like a nice, neat package of every single thing that's important about the game. Like, that's not really a thing that the first level should have because of how complicated that mechanic is. So I'm going to put it in good. Like, I think it is actually genuinely a good level. It is a perfect introduction level with routes that are just not, like, they don't stand out very much nowadays, but it should deserve that much credit. Sky. I don't know. I can't. Now we are kind of out of the range of, oh, it's the introduction level, because that only really works for Massif, but I could technically count it for all these first 5 levels. But the reality is that, like, I think Sky is. I'm trying to think about everything that's part of the level. I don't want to say it's bad. I'll put it in okay, but I might move it down to bad later. Not even in this live stream. I might put it down in like the 2018, 2019 live stream because of all the other levels that might get piled up, and I might put too many levels in okay, so I might have to force some of them to like go to the next tier. But I don't right now. It's not good, and I don't want to call it bad because I think that the level also gets its job done similar to Massif. Firstly, the movers are introduced pretty well. Like, you start off with just the plain mover, and then it showcases an example of how a mover combination with movers and auto movers, lighting tiles that were introduced in Massif, and then it introduces the Volcano theme, which arguably looks kind of terrible, but I like that it's unique and that it gets rid of the mover borders. That's really interesting, and I think that it really fits the music. And then it has the sky, the white desert theme. I think that's really good. Like, I think that this level really fits the music in terms of its theme selection, and I like that it introduces 2 more themes, which just adds to the better part of it being one of the first 5 levels. And then the ending is a little bit gimmicky. Like, I like how they introduce movers, and then they elaborate on it further in the white desert theme because they're a lot more complicated. But then in the final theme, it's literally just like spamming the same mover plate over and over again. They're spamming a bunch of hammers and spinny things and stompers, and I'm just kind of like, I don't really like this gimmicky ending because it doesn't showcase anything nicely. It doesn't like challenge the player mentally. It's just kind of like a spam fest of crushy stuff, which that might be the reason why I put it down to bad later on, but that's a little bit mean. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry, I have to put it in bad. Like, aside from the very beginning of the introduction of movers, I don't think that it's just a very nice level overall. And again, when you take into account how it would be reviewed in like any other year than 2016, we have to admit that people think it's terrible. So the introduction holds it up. Some other things hold it up, like the theme choices, but I just don't think that it's that good overall. Okay, Forest. Yeah. Heart Powell like. I'm sorry that I can't produce your name properly. Yeah, you're gonna finish them before. Don't worry. Old Forest. It's good. It is really good. I don't think y'all understand. Like, Massif is only held up because it's the introduction level. Forest is actually good. Like, Forest is really good. The original one, anyway. Like, the original Forest is just beautiful. The first theme, Forest, it just feels like a forest. The random dispersion of all the trees, oh, just French kiss. Then it introduces the disco theme again, but then it has slashers, and I just think that, like, the music is, like, the best out of the three so far, and it works so well. It's such an emotional cinematic song. I don't know what it is because I'm not really a music expert, but, like, the combination of, like, the key signature and, like, the overall melody, it just makes it feel like a really emotional level. Like, a level in C major, like Breezy Summer's song, the new one, it's, like, not that compelling because it's in C major, and that's the most basic, unemotional, just happy-go-lucky melody you could do. But when I say emotional, I'm talking about, like, super deep, high-quality stuff like Microchip. My camera is still messing up, brothers. I'm surprised. Like, I feel like it would have fixed itself by now, but I guess not. Yeah, okay, listen, I know the new Forest has a completely different opinion than the original one, but, like, yeah, the original one's really good. Desert, it's okay. I knew that I was going to put it here. That's actually why I moved Sky down, because I think Desert is better than Sky, but it's not that much better. Desert is really weird, because, like, again, I know that it was originally just called IV, like, level 4, so it wasn't originally supposed to necessarily be a desert level, but because this is the first level that introduces the desert theme, we kind of have to call it desert because there's no other name to give it. So, I mean, like, the desert theme is good, but realistically, I don't think that the block usage is actually that great. I think that it gets really messy sometimes, and I don't think that it introduces the player to the blocks in a compelling way. I also think that the opening theme is just awful. Like, the opening route, I hate the beginning of the music. It's so loud and obnoxious, and it's literally just people banging kitchen equipment together. I don't like the beginning song. And, yeah, the routes are just so, like, how do I describe it? The routes are so gimmicky. Like, the routes are just so, like, hey, guys, we're going to do this crazy thing. It's like an obstacle course. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It feels like an obstacle course in the beginning of Desert. Like, again, the beginning is just like, oh, this is just a mess of a ton of fuck. And you have to, like, get around it. And you have to, like, just sit there and look at it before you even do anything. I don't think that's a good way to start a level. Then they spam a bunch of sliding tiles going to the right. And it's just like, no, like, we don't need any of that bullshit. And then they just copy a bunch of routes from Sky. And then, again, the desert theme is an improvement. But then the Sky theme and the disco theme are just, like, they're not special. Like, they just spam a bunch of stuff. Like, there's no interesting routes in there. And the only reason that people think of them as special is because it's, like, the first time that we've had, like, a real drop in a song. Like, the first time that a song is really built up and then delivered a nice, energetic, like, section to the level. So that's why they're really popular. But the reality is that, like, they're just not very good. The routes are just kind of terrible, honestly. And, then it gets better slightly with the desert theme, but the incorporation of movers makes it a little bit worse. Like, I think the highlight of the level is just the first desert theme. It feels like a desert. It works fine. The blocks are used pretty well, but not the best. And then after that, the level kind of falls apart. Then the rest of the level is just more slop. Now that I talk about the level, I kind of have to put it in bad. I don't hate the level, by the way, guys. Like, I don't dislike the level. I'll still play it and enjoy it. But, like, from an objective standpoint, from a quality standpoint, even with the addition of it being one of the first levels, it just doesn't really work as a level. It's way too gimmicky. It's way too, like, obnoxious with, like, its music and its route making style. And it copies a bunch of routes from before. Not the biggest fan of it. From an objective standpoint, anyway. Yeah, and again, like, it copies Massif's ending, which is just, like, you could argue that, like, it being the first 5 levels, like, they do callbacks to each other, so maybe it was intended, but I just don't really like it, and it's a really outdated thing to copy routes from original levels. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's 37 people, holy shit. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at chat to see if anyone like disagrees with me to a significant extent. Oh, the main theme is called Snow Hill. Is that made up by the artist wiki? Because if it's made up by the artist wiki, then it is definitely not official. But I mean, that's a fine name. I mean, I don't really care. The original white theme is just like it's really just default slop. Like they definitely had no plan. They're just like let's just have white background, clouds, and then add a bunch of stuff. And like I don't think that they cared about the color scheme or anything. It doesn't feel like a desert. It doesn't really feel like a clouds heaven level. It's just kind of a strange looking theme. Okay, I don't know what that was. Anyway, Volcano. As you can all probably guess, this level is going in an absolute masterpiece. The level is just spectacular in everything that it could possibly do. I cannot give the level enough credit because it is actually one of the first actual dogshit levels in this entire ranking. Volcano, bro. Oh my god, don't even get me started, bro. Oh my god. Even when this level first came out, even from the first day I played this in like March of 2016, because I'm not a real OG, I'm a city update OG. I played this level and I was just like, what the fuck is this level? And this was back in the day when like people thought that like we were only going to have like 10 levels maximum, right? Like this is back in the day when like it was competing against Geometry Dash and people were like, I wonder which game will have more levels because we really didn't know which one would have more. And now we have like 200 more levels, but that's a different topic. But at the time, we thought that like we were going to have a really limited number of levels. So to have this level of Volcano be the way that it is, I remember people just shat on this level, bro. Before I continue, you fix my camera. I don't know what is going on. We're gonna actually reload this software. I'm actually gonna reset the app as well. God, I don't know what's going on. It's plugged in with a wire, so I have zero idea why it wouldn't work. Seriously? What is happening, bro? Like this software is low-key kind of terrible. Don't worry, guys. I have a backup. It's worse, but like it's super laggy, but at least it works majority of the time. So we're gonna disconnect that because that is useless, and now we're gonna plug in this new thing. So Droid Cam. This is my backup, which again it works. It's not as good, but it works fine. What the hell is going on, bro? Hey, there we go. Wait, oh my lord. Droid camera. Why is this not working? This should work. I don't know why it's just black. Huh? Huh? What? Oh, it's gonna turn off my Wi-Fi. Oh, that's why. So let me get. Oh wait, no, I didn't. I don't know what's going on. See, like the original camera that I had set up is God, why is my, it's not like positioning correctly. Come on, bro. Okay, should be working pretty well. Actually, that is terrible. What's going on, bro? This is just terrible. I hate this, bro. No, come on there. Okay, yeah, that's as good as we're gonna get. Except, I don't know why, but it's just not even working. So we're gonna just delete this. Shit, this is not going good. I don't know why, but this should work. I don't know why my phone is just not even connecting. Bluetooth. Yeah, well, that's just tough. That should not be happening. Delete? Can I delete this? Yeah. Okay. So now that that's working, come on. Well, that works. Are you shitting me, bro? What is going on? I hate this stupid setup, bro. Okay, droid cam. Connect using droid cam on your computer. Yeah, I. Well, that takes forever. Let's just look at chat for a second. Yeah, so Volcano, oh, there it is. So Volcano was a terrible level on its introduction, and even with the benefit of the doubt, oh, thank yes. Okay, so I just want to let y'all know this is going to run at a couple frames per second. Let's see. Let's see. How do I do this in the thing? Order, transform, flip horizontal. Yeah, now we're talking. So this. Oh right, I have to do the thing. So if I do this, then I can put the camera right about here. Okay, and then I can shrink this to about like here. Okay. Open this. Open this. Yeah. Oh, we have to click off. Okay. Let's do that again. Okay. Great. Amazing. Perfect. Oh my gosh, that took way too long. Anyway. So again, this will probably run way better and it'll run forever, but it'll be super, super low resolution and it'll probably go to like 2 frames a second. Okay, so now we're back. Volcano, it's terrible. Oh my god. Okay, firstly, I don't necessarily have a problem with a level just being on one theme the entire time, but this time it's bad because like Volcano is an extremely long level and the song has variation. So I feel like it would make a lot more sense to switch to at least some other theme like Sky or just anything, but it just stays on Volcano the entire time. I don't know why they do this. Not only that, but like the routes are the most copy and pasted routes of the entire game. Like the amount of routes that this level steals is ridiculous. It steals from Forest, it steals from Sky, it steals from Desert. Oh my god. The entirety of like 80% onward is just desert copied over. Like it is just desert and then they make it like more bland and more generic, but is the exact same route structure. And then the only other thing this level has is just spam stuff for no reason. Like there's a time when it's around like the 50% mark and you're going like either the middle, like the 2 lanes or the 3 lanes, or the 2 lanes or the 3 lanes, and then they like block off one side and they're all separated by risers, and it is just a mess, bro. This level is a mess. Zero sync. Like this level doesn't sync at all. There's not a single thing that I can remember that it syncs with the music for, and it's crazy because this level is like 2 minutes long and it still fails to sync at literally every single turn. Every laser cannon shot, every stomper, every movement of the ball is somehow not synced at all. I don't know what happened when making this level, because this level is just like, it is really, really bad. And I don't even hate this level because again, it's OG. It gets a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, but in comparison to all the other levels, it just has to go into actual dog shit. I'm sorry. It cannot go anywhere else. Yeah, Diego, what's your question? It did sync? No. No, it did not sync, bro. What happened to my unique ways? I don't think you'll understand. Every single unique ways video I had to do, like maybe a year into making unique ways, it made me want to like take the nearest exit down to the first floor. Like I don't doing unique ways made me want to rip my hair out. it was so difficult. There were some times where it was so difficult that I had to splice it somewhere in the middle just to like give myself at least 2 attempts to do these things. Even so, it was a nightmare, bro. Especially like Faded Spectre Remix. Oh my god, bro. I have like PTSD from Unique Ways. I know y'all love Unique Ways, and I'm sorry. Oh my god, I forgot about New Year. New Year Unique Ways were awful. New Year Unique Ways, oh my god, they were so difficult. I don't think you understand, bro. They were so hard. I couldn't do them. Like, that was too painful. Unique Ways they're fun when you put it out in a video and it looks like I'm a pro at the game, but the behind the scenes to make those it is so awful. Looking for unique ways is not fun, and then playing is extra not fun. Not only that, but I'm Asian, so I have a lot of like oil on my skin. That sounds really pointless to mention, but the truth is that like when you play a level for like 3 hours straight, which I have to do for pretty much every Unique Ways level nowadays, like eventually it gets to a point where the screen just greases up so much, and then the touchscreen just doesn't even register my finger. So, like, I'm literally just sitting there practicing this level for 3 hours straight, and then it stops working because my finger just doesn't react with the screen. And so I have to just, like, wash my phone screen and then start all over again. It is painful, bro. No. Like I said, I can wash my hands and I can wash the screen. But, like, by that point, I have to restart the recording anyways. So, like, I'm almost there was one time, bro. I'm trying to think about what level it was. It was I'm trying to think of a level that was really difficult that I took forever on. Oh yeah. I think it was Relics Unique Ways. It was literally at like the 93% mark or 94%, and I was going strong. I did every single unique way exactly as I wanted it to, and then for some reason, my finger was right here, and the ball just went. It just like jumped off the screen. It just went in a completely different direction than my finger was going. And then yeah, that's what happens when your touch screen gets you. But I was so close. I was so close. And it threw away all my progress because of stupid ass touchscreen issues. Yeah, Redor, I don't like to go off topic for these things because they take forever, but yeah, someone asked why I don't do unique ways anymore, and I think I have to explain it because, like, unique ways are a staple of my channel. Dude, my camera is, like, it is refusing to cooperate. It is glitching so much. Like I could count, like, this many seconds per frame. Yeah, like, I don't know what's going on with the camera. We're just gonna have to, like, I'm sorry. It's gonna be at 1 frame per second, guys. Just, like, pretend there's no camera there. Okay, City. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like City, bro. Is it better than Forest? Nah. But it's really good. Like, City is a pretty impressive level, especially coming off the back of Volcano and all the other original 5. Like, City the themes are a lot more refined. They feel like they're actually trying to represent something and not just default slop. Like, the City themes are pretty impressive. Guys, just ignore the camera. Ignore the camera. No. Stop looking at the camera. I know that it's breaking. Just ignore it. I've given up trying to make it work. Because, like, Wi-Fi connection is just super unreliable in these instances. Yeah, City is really good. The music is amazing. I like how they open the theme on grayscale instead of what the cover displays because it fits the music perfectly well. And the drop at the very beginning when they brighten up the theme and add a bunch of colors, that's really cool. I like that. It's a super unique thing for its time period, and it's just really impressive overall. I think the objects are a lot better, like that they actually have a focus now because we have the city towers and we have the radio tower. I think that it's just really impressive. Plus, we have the flood lasers, which at the time were completely useless because no one cared about them, but then Chess Fortress brought them back, and now they're pretty well known. So I think that they did a good job introducing those flood lasers as well. I think the routes are pretty great, actually. Like, even if this level came out today, I think the routes would actually still hold up a decently well amount. Maybe not that spam section of rotating hammers in the disco part, or really the cameo theme as a whole. But overall, I think it's great. And I do like that city cameos the disco theme, because before then, the level was kind of just cycled between whatever themes they wanted. But then City had a real focus, and then it had a cameo theme. That was the first time that a theme was like, oh my god, it's this theme. I like this theme. I remember this theme. It's like the first time that a theme generated nostalgia at the time, which was only like 2 months before the release, like 2 months after the release of the first 5 levels. So I thought that that was really well done. The palm trees and the disco theme, I like that too. I think it's just a fun little quirk. It reminds me of like Las Vegas in a way, how they have a bunch of like neon fake plants. Yeah, overall city is pretty great. I like it. Sci-Tech. Um, this is it's kind of a hot, contentious thing. I Sci-Tech is it's not better than City. I'm sorry. Most people think Sci-Tech is a really good level. I don't really agree most of the time. Sci-Tech, again, it seems to have a decently focused theme. Like, it's, high-tech stuff. So it has the archway gates. That's, like, one of the biggest aspects of the entire game. Like, the archway gates of going up and down. Like, that is just every single level has those. So it was a really nice invention. So it gets extra points for that. And the lasers, even though they weren't replicated ever, a pretty cool concept, how they just, like, extend infinitely. That was really cool. However, I just don't think that, like, the routes are that great. The routes are just kind of terrible, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't think we and then you have the 2 themes. Listen. I know I gave City credit for using the grayscale theme, but they actually fit the vibe. The green theme looks terrible. And then don't even get me started with the theme that comes before that, where they just mash Illusion and Sci-Tech together. Like, oh, that's just so ugly. I can never get over that. The mountains don't fit a little bit weirdly. And then, again, you have that giant laser cannon spam part. I think that the ending is actually pretty great, though, because the ending kind of sums up everything about the level. Like, it has the Sci-Tech, it has the lasers, it has the archways, it has spikes, and then it brings back things like Radio Tower, which I thought were cool. And then it has the pillar laser cannons at the end. I think the ending is actually pretty great, but that's why it's going in good. But it is not better than City. The song is not as great. And now that I'm thinking about it, like, in the grand scheme of things, I think we have to put Massif. It's okay. Because, like, again, we do want to even out the list so that it doesn't look too, like, collected together in one section. So we do have to put Massif down there. I still think it's good, but, like, from a route making standpoint, it's just not spectacular in any way, shape, or form. I might even move Sci-Tech down to It's Okay because of all the criticisms I have of it, but we're just going to keep it here until we decide later to move it. Tetris. Ooh. Yeah, I think I've realized this now. I gotta do this. Tetris is I used to look at Tetris, and the main reason I hated Tetris is because it was shorter than Sci-Tech and City and Volcano. And I was like, no, this is such a terrible thing, because that means that our levels are going to be so much shorter now. Thankfully, we did not end up having that as our default time for how long levels would last. But I realized that was like a silly thing to be angry about when it comes to Tetris. And I have to admit that the objects in Tetris are beautiful. Like, the Tetris blocks themselves are just so clean. They look like ice blocks. The way they reflect as well, like, I don't know what kind of coating makes the blocks look reflective and icy like that, but they did such a great job with that. The trees, the rainbow trees, is such a cool, inventive concept, like taking an existing object and just making it look so unique and interesting. And they couldn't just take the original trees, they actually had to make new models for that, so I really appreciate the level of effort they put into that. Then they have all the ice towers, like, those look beautiful, bro. Like, in a level today, if they use those towers in a level nowadays, that would actually hold up pretty well. Like, those towers look really good. And then again, like, I think the drop is kind of messy. Like, they just spam a bunch of stuff, but the build up to it is amazing. After the drop, it's amazing. The ending with all the glass trees, oh, just perfect. I love it. And then of course you have the beautiful, just like crisscross sliding tiles. I think that's really nice and inventive. So I do think Tetris is actually a really great level. Now that I think about it, actually, now City is still better. I'm sorry, it's not going above City. That's not happening. Magic Cube? Well, yeah, I mean, because it's the same textures and stuff. But I mean, you know. E-Labyrinth. Okay, like, guys, I'm gonna be honest. E-Labyrinth is our first absolute masterpiece of the game. E-Labyrinth is just, I can't even, like, put into words. Oh, wait, no, I can, because I actually have, like, a Google Doc for why I think this level is so great. Because that's how much of a yapper I am. I type the things that I want to say. No, like, E-Labyrinth, a lot of people don't understand that the introduction of the tile that falls is so smart. Like, before, a level was just, you see the route, that's the route you have to go down. There's not much way to trick the player. But when you have a falling tile, that just introduces, like, an entire new era of gameplay. And the fact that we know that this is important because it just introduces more and more and more tile variations, ones that disappear and appear. Even to this day, we have new tiles like the Mecha tiles, or the Westland tiles, or the Competition Park tiles, or the Chronos tiles. Those tiles are still, like, they are all because of this one single tile variant from E-Labyrinth, and I think that is a genius idea, and no one appreciates the level for that. Not only do we have this one tile variation, but this is a thing that levels nowadays don't even try, and that kind of bothers me. The Labyrinth level introduces this new idea of objects where they have the same model, but they animate in a whole bunch of different ways. And then when you put them together, it creates this amazing combination of routes, and it just looks so chaotic, but it flows really well. And I'm talking about the Labyrinth snakes, those little blue cubes that spin around each other and do a bunch of stuff. Like, bro, the Labyrinth snakes are so genius. Like, they're one of the most genius object designs I've ever seen in the entire game to this day. The way the snakes slither around each other and form gates, but then form a gate and then close off the entrance to get through them, or the ones that go, like, to the left and right and are just there for decoration, or the ones that move forward and, like, catch the player by surprise. Oh my god, it's amazing. There's so many variations of the snake object, and it works so well. Because I see, like, behind the scenes in the game, I know that there's, like, I don't know, maybe like 7 different variations of this moving snake, but from, like, an average player who can't see these, like, behind the scenes, like, they can't tell that there's only 7 variations. The level makes it look like there's, like, hundreds of different ways to move them around. That's why, like, I think E-Labyrinth is just such a magical level in this sense, because it just, like, it feels so, like, it feels so creative. The routes are just amazing, and they use the snakes perfectly. They make the routes so chaotic, but then they also allow you to actually, like, see what's going on in front of you. So it creates that nice effect that everyone loves in a Rolling Sky level, where if you play it in front of your friends, they're going to think that you're, like, an absolute 10 out of 10 god at the game. When in reality, like, you just took a little bit of memorization, and it's not really that hard, but it looks like you're an absolute pro. And I just think that Labyrinth is just, it's an amazing level. And then, of course, I think that the quote-unquote Tetris cameo is also good. Yes, granted, it's not really a Tetris cameo because they used a different background. But I think that overall, I still consider it to be a Tetris cameo because, like, it's just a nice way to bridge the new era of levels because this is where Cheetah Mobile takes over. And it's a nice way to bridge the original levels with the new ones. It just works perfectly. I love everything about a Labyrinth. The objects are amazing. The tile variation of the tile falling is amazing. That one little spinning saw blade that splits into 4 pieces is also super creative and cool. I love all the collectibles. I love the snakes. The block usage is amazing. They add a new block variant, by the way, which doesn't have, like, the chipped corners on the bottom. It's just a nice, clean block, and that is, of course, a super iconic block type in future levels that we have nowadays. And yeah, the routes are amazing. And then the ending is just, it's, oh my god, I didn't even talk about the lasers. The E-Labyrinth lasers that you deactivate with buttons, that is another extremely genius concept. That's like, the amount of coding that takes relative to other rolling sky objects is so underappreciated. Like, I don't think y'all understand how much effort had to go into that. You have to make an object that gets deactivated by 2 different colors, and then you have to make it act so that you can't deactivate a laser that's too far ahead of you. So they introduced this like genius idea to only activate lasers in the vicinity, like the radius of the button, and it's only specific to that color. That kind of coding is just not something we have nowadays, aside from like special mechanics like the underground mechanic. Those require more coding. But like for this thing, like this is just so smart. It's so genius. And of course the way the routes use them is even more genius than what, you know, the effort that had to be put into making it happen. Like the routes are just a perfect combination of route and puzzle. Like I remember when I was first playing this level, I hated that they only used these lasers so little because I loved having to solve them and figure out the best possible path. Because again, like, I know how the lasers work because I've seen the behind the scenes, but if you don't see the behind the scenes like I didn't for like the first 6 or 7 years of playing the game, 6, 7, get it? Anyway, whoever thought that was funny should probably jump out this window. I do think that the lasers are just used perfectly, amazingly. And then, of course, the ending theme where they spam a bunch of falling tiles. That's super chaotic and fun. Everyone loves that. And the song. The song is beautiful, bro. The song is so amazing. It is such a step up from every other song that we've heard in the game before. This song is just so perfect. Oh my god, just these instruments are just not used enough. These like cowbell instruments. I don't even know what to call them. These electronic cowbell instruments. They fit so perfectly in the level. And I love the melody. I love everything about it. And the way in the filtered theme it swells up into a nice chorus like it's being sung by a choir. Oh my god, amazing. I love it. And like it never stops having variation. And then the final thing I want to touch on is the textures. These are the best textures in the game so far. These textures still hold up to this day. The textures are just so clean and perfect. They perfectly encapsulate the electronic atmosphere. Really, E-Labyrinth is just like a much, much better version of Sci-Tech. Like so much better that, again, most people don't even compare the two levels because of how different E-Labyrinth is. But it still takes the same high-tech concept, but it actually does it just amazingly better. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Oh god, I love E-Labyrinths. I love E-Labyrinth. It's amazing. So yeah, let's go in perfect. Castle in the Sky. Castle in the Sky might genuinely be the best level in the game. I think I might stand by that. Castle in the Sky might be the best level in the entire game. Again, I also wrote a Google Doc on why this level is so amazing. The idea of the rotating blocks and the tilting tiles and having all of it just form a route is it's so cool. Like, even to this day, there has not been a single idea or mechanic that has surpassed this level of coolness. Even the second floor, people did not talk about that as much as people talked about this Castle in the Sky like design. Just the way the blocks just all fall into place. They just rotate there. And then all the tiles just form. They like rotate into place. And then not only that, they made variations of other obstacles that do the same thing. Like you have that one like rune-shaped object with the spikes on the side of it. And the way the spikes just fly out of the void and then fall into place. And the objects, like all the pieces just roll into each other. And then you have the riser. They have the classic riser all the way back from Massif, but they introduce a new model that like rotates into place. And then when you take all that stuff, plus the blocks, plus the tilting tiles, it just forms a route in front of you. It is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in a level. I cannot emphasize this enough. I will experience this kind of like excited energy for other levels, but you're not going to see that for a while. Like, this level is just so perfect. I wouldn't change a single thing about the original level. Like, I'm sorry, I gotta like take a minute. Oh my god. Oh. I'm just kidding, I wasn't even blowing my nose. I had to adjust a USB cord back there because it keeps slowly attaching because the grip is really bad. Anyway, perfect level. Don't even get me started. The music. I know that it's a time lapse remake, but it's still really great. Like it is amazing. Just I mean I think Zach Streifel composed that. Bro, that guy is a legend. Zach Streifel is a legend, bro. Like you cannot convince me otherwise. Listen. Spirit. The reason why I said the original version is because I liked it better with the theme, the orange filter. The orange filter added so much more variation to the level, and I liked how it was used sparingly but effectively. Because again, when you have a drop, it makes more sense to change the theme, and plus, E-Labyrinth already had it where it doesn't change at the drop, so I think it would have been a lot better for Castle in the Sky to have the orange filter theme. And I know that they removed it initially for conserving storage space, but then Minimax could easily add it back at any point, and it wouldn't affect the storage, and they still refused to do it, so that kind of pisses me off. But I mean, overall, I think the level we have now is fine. Like it's still perfect, arguably, but like it's just perfect minus the absence of the orange filter theme. I think the orange filter theme makes it so much better. I remember when I first played it, there's a leak for the level like before it actually came out, and there was this is on Facebook actually, and they didn't have an orange theme. They actually used the city theme. So originally the drop was gonna have just the city theme, and it looked pretty cool because it was essentially like grayscale Castle in the Sky, but like I don't think that city would have fit at all. So I'm glad that they abandoned that like early on. But yeah, the original level had the city theme instead, which is really strange. But I don't even know if that clip exists anymore. It might be on. It wouldn't have been on the official Facebook. There's no way. But I remember seeing it because they had like an icon in the top corner of the main level screen for like news on Rolling Sky. That was a really old thing they used to have. I remember I clicked on it, and then I clicked an adjacent link, and it just took me to that clip, and I was like, oh my god, this level looks so fucking cool. This is in the Labyrinth update. But yeah, Castle in the Sky, perfect textures, perfect music, perfect routes, perfect like ideas of the level forming into place. And the volcano theme is also perfect. I love how it serves as like a lava moat around the castle. Oh, just like oh. And then of course you have the ending where it's just like I usually like it when levels take everything that was in the level before and they just pack it all into the ending. Like it feels a lot more cinematic that way. But I really do like how like contrary to most levels nowadays, Castle in the Sky just like strips everything away. Like all the rotating blocks go away, the filter theme goes away, no more alternate cameo themes, like none of the like rotating shit. It's literally just one object type, and then you have the gates at the end, and it just like it feels like heaven, bro. Like the ending just like perfectly feels like a heaven level. Like it is just a perfect level. Wouldn't change a single thing about it minus the filter theme. But even so, the original level is just perfect. Like I wouldn't change anything. I would not move a single object to another spot. Yeah. Um, I don't think the sits filter is back. I seriously doubt the filter is back because Minimax has never done anything other than changing routes and stuff. So I would be really happy if it came back, but I don't think that it is. Yeah, also Castle in the Sky, yeah, Spirit. Castle in the Sky's cameo theme for Volcano is better than any other Volcano appearance ever. Like, not only do they kind of abandon the silly idea of having no borders, like I think it works in other themes, but not really in Volcano. So the fact that they add borders makes it look a lot better. And then of course when they use Castle in the Sky objects in Volcano, it looks a lot more clean and polished. So yeah, Volcano's cameo theme is amazing. Technically, it's not actually Volcano. It's an alternate theme that looks like Volcano, and it's slightly different in its texture composition. But you know, it doesn't really matter. It's basically Volcano's cameo theme. It looks beautiful, and it fits the music perfectly. Yeah, it undeniably a perfect level. Halloween. Um, um, um. I'll do this, okay? Halloween is a good level, but it's not the best level. Like a lot of people put it in S tier. I don't think it's actually that good. The one issue that I have with it is the grayscale theme. It worked in City because again it's supposed to mention like an archaic setting where it's like old and run down, but in this case, like it really makes no fucking sense to have a gray theme with the exception of having a ball color and a gem color. Like that just looks ugly. I don't care what y'all say. It doesn't look good at all. And like again but what makes it better is I think the routes are a little bit better. They're really like energetic, and I think that the I like how it's way harder than Castle in the Sky, even with all that rotating stuff gone, because they just use a lot of like trickery with like multiple jump pads next to each other so you don't know which one you have to land on. And I like how they just spam a bunch of sliding tiles. I also think that the trees look pretty cool, like for its time period anyway. The ghosts are a really inventive thing. I know that they're not animated super well, like they look really dated nowadays, but like they look super fluid. And even levels like Monster City, I mean, or not Monster City, even levels like Monster Chorus, they couldn't ever recreate an animation like that, so it's really impressive. And, oh yeah, the pumpkins are cool. I like the pumpkins. And then I like how they added a variation for the pumpkin pillar lasers. Super cool stuff. But, like, overall, the level's just pretty mid. Like, it's alright. The more I add levels, I might just shift them down, but know that my opinions of them don't necessarily change. It's just that, like, we kind of have to make space for other levels so it doesn't look bloated in one category. But for now, I'm just going to leave it like this. Pretty great. Yeah, the music in Halloween is pretty good, but I don't like how the second drop just copies and pastes the original first drop. It's just like, really? Like, you couldn't change something there? But, I mean, you know, whatever. Ghost Dance. I'm sorry. It's not. Ghost Dance is not good, bro. Again, I promise this is not a bias of me hating levels that have a singular theme. I don't hate them. I think that they're alright if they're executed perfectly fine. But, like, this one is just not it, bro. I remember I played this level, and I beat it in, like, 2 attempts while I was in China, and I was eating a bunch of blueberries, and I beat it in one sitting. And I remember finishing it, and I just, like, every other level that I beat, like, up to that point, every single one, I felt, like, a sense of, like, uplifting. And I was like, wow, I'm so proud of myself for beating this level. Even, like, easier levels, like, Tetris, as opposed to Sci-Tech. But, like, overall, I just, like, I was not impressed with this level. This is the first time that I just felt a lack of like fulfillment in completing a level, because Ghost Dance is just such a nothing burger. Firstly, this theme should have been used in the original Halloween. I don't know why they used a grayscale theme over this one, and I don't know why they didn't use the other themes in Ghost Dance. It's a really strange decision. Not only that, but Ghost Dance is just, the routes are terrible, bro. Like, I don't care what y'all argue about Ghost Dance, the routes in Ghost Dance are just ass cheeks. Like, the majority of the idea of the level is let's just have a bunch of like slishy sloshy routes, and then let's poke holes in the routes, and then we'll fill those holes with those like rising pillar tiles, and then that's all the level does. And then it has a bunch of blocks in really messy, unorganized ways. Like, the blocks is just like the last thing that we need in a Halloween level. We don't need a bunch of neon colored blocks. Like, come on, bro. And then, I mean, one thing I will give credit to the level for is that in Halloween, in the cover, for some reason, okay, let's actually zoom in on this one. Okay, in the Halloween cover, you can see that we have a hammer. I don't know why they put a hammer in the cover if there is no hammer in the level, but I do like that Ghost Dance kind of corrected this by using hammers in the theme. But overall, that's just like like, really, bro? Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm sorry. Okay, let's fix this. Okay. But yeah, Ghost Dance is just not that great. I'm sorry. Oh, I mean, Spirit, that's actually a good argument. I mean, maybe the gray theme could represent, like, old movies of Halloween, but overall, I don't think it's necessary to do that. Like if they had a Halloween level where it's like in a haunted house or it was like a haunted film set, I mean maybe you could do that, but I just don't think it fits this forest atmosphere. It's just like you could have done something a lot more creative with that. But yeah, Ghost Dance is not good. And a lot of people call Ghost Dance a main level, but I mean it's really just a bonus because we know that bonuses can introduce their own themes too, like based off of like the Alan Walker levels and technically Monody, but most people don't count Monody as a bonus level either. But I mean, yeah, Ghost Dance is not great. Illusion. I remember ever since I played the beginning of the city update, I always wanted a level dedicated to this theme. And then finally, later in the year, I got it. And I was so hyped up because I always wanted to see a level start and end on this theme. I don't know why, but this theme felt a little bit underappreciated. Yes, it did appear 3 different times, but I just wanted it to, like, be the main theme. It's kind of like that side character in, like, a Marvel Cinematic Universe who just gets no, like, appreciation, and then you want them to have their own movie where they actually are allowed to be the main character. I wanted this level to, like, stand out. And like, it was a 1-star, so I was a little bit let down by how simplistic it was. But overall, I think that it's actually pretty good. But again, when you compare it to all the other levels, the routes just aren't that spectacular. But I will say that it's better than Desert. And I don't want to put it in It's Bad yet, but I might put it in It's Bad just relative to the other levels. Because again, the routes are just not very spectacular in comparison to all the other levels in the game. I can't, like, lie and pretend that this level is better than it actually is. So with that out of the way, we now have, let's see, let me open something up real quick. Okay, so now I got that. Interesting. What I'm doing is I'm looking at, like, an old tier ranking that I did, just to see if, like, overall, what's the best option to do in terms of, like, where to put levels and stuff. Okay, that's interesting. So, yeah, I'm not really going to follow that original tier list. It's super outdated. I made this tier list in 2023 of October. So, yeah. If Ghost Dance is a bonus, then so are the first 5 levels. Okay, but, like, the first 5 levels get an exception because, like, the idea is that if a bonus reuses the same themes as another level, and, like, only those themes primarily, then it's considered a bonus. And if it's, like, more simplistic and or if it, like, takes ideas and expands upon them or just reuses them, and it's not, like, shameful in a way. But I'll give Massif and the other 4 original levels, like, different status because, like, there was no, like, central theme of any level. Like, they just mixed them up around, like, all the time. Like, Massif has a whole bunch of themes, and then Sky has a bunch of themes, Desert and Forest, and then Volcano is just Volcano, to be honest. But, like, to say that Volcano is a bonus level of Sky, that doesn't make sense. To say that Forest is a bonus level of Massif, that doesn't work either. And that, like, because, again, you can't say Forest is a bonus level of Massif because then it ends on the Volcano theme, which has no bearing on Massif whatsoever and is introduced in another level, so it just doesn't work. Like, you can't designate any of these original levels as a main or a bonus. They're just the introduction levels, but then that kind of makes them into main levels. Illusion, you could argue that Illusion is a bonus level of Forest. I mean, like, because you have the... because Forest, like, primarily uses the disco theme and then also has the blue theme, so you can make that argument, but... like, I mean, I guess that's what I would call it if it was a bonus level. I really don't care, though, to be honest. Are we going to count New Forest? We're going to count that in the 2019 ranking with all the other 2019 mini levels and shit. Because, like, wherever you see the original Forest right here, it is not going to be in that spot. It is not going to be anywhere close. So that's why I want to rank the other ones separately. Sorry, okay, what's Redor saying? Yeah, he didn't say anything. Anyway, enough of that. Deep Space. ooh, I remember when I saw like a teaser for this level, I was like, this is the most like how do I put it, like mystical feeling. The most like this looks really really interesting. I have no idea what to expect. Even with Elaborate and Castle in the Sky, I knew to expect like, okay, this is a heaven theme. Okay, this is a electronic theme. This was like, I mean, wow, it's like space. That's cool. And again, like my little 10-year-old brain was thriving at the seams with this one. And overall, I'm putting it right here. I think it's better than Halloween, but I don't think it's better than the original Forest. It's not spectacular, but it's pretty good actually. And overall, Deep Space is just a really like nice, solid level. I think that the routes are super energetic. They fit the fast-paced music of the song really nicely. And yes, granted, the second theme does steal textures from Ghost Dance, but I'll give it a pass because Ghost Dance's textures are arguably way worse, and I think that they fit Deep Space a lot better. Plus, the color scheme in Deep Space is just super clean and readable and understandable, and it fits the music perfectly. And I like how the beginning theme feels more ethereal, like organized outer space, and then the second theme feels a lot more chaotic, especially in its route making, but also the textures make it look like less formal and more jagged, and I think that the distinction between the two themes is really well done. And then, of course, you have that really iconic section in the second drop in the alternate theme where the ball is just zigzagging rapidly between towers and stuff. That's just like, you have to give credit. Like, that's such an iconic part of the level. It's so cool. And I just like it even more because it syncs really nicely with the music. How the music is super loud and obnoxious in a good way, and then right when it gets to the spammy part, the music just like it just like stops. Like the music just goes completely silent. There's no melody, and then at that moment they just make you spam between a bunch of towers and stuff. I think that's just really well made. Yes, I know my camera just died. Don't even pay attention to that. And yeah, Deep Space is a great level. I love it. I love Deep Space. And of course, that's the first time they add a new roller variant, which also became a really iconic aspect of every level after that, because now every level has their own rollers. Because if it weren't for Deep Space, we'd just be having the default roller in every other level, which wouldn't look too great. So I think Deep Space does all of it. Amazing. Christmas. Oh, okay. I'll put it above Deep Space, actually. Christmas is a pretty good level. Like, okay, firstly, it does actually capture that Castle in the Sky aspect where a whole bunch of like Christmas card books open up and all like the flat things come out, and it like they have a lot of different variations for that, and I think that's really really cool. Not only do they have that cool opening section of all of them just rotating into place similar to Castle in the Sky, giving you that same exact chaotic feeling, but I also love, this is such a unique idea that doesn't get explored enough, how then the 2D objects then transform into 3D. Like, I don't think y'all understand the level of animation that has to go into that stuff. Like, to make a flat object and then have a bunch of little pieces expand out of the flat object so that it becomes a 3D thing, like, that is so cool. I don't think y'all, like, appreciate this enough. Like, it is so great. And for that, I'm actually going to put it above Forest. But it's not a masterpiece. Because like the routes are a little bit too messy, the textures are not that special, and the music, I know the music is iconic, but like realistically, I'm not really impressed with the music relative to other songs. Like, I like how it's just classic Jingle Bells, but little did we know that would become a staple of just overused bullshit and melodies and Rolling Sky. Also, if it weren't for fireworks, we wouldn't have visual effects at all in Rolling Sky, so that's why it has to go above Forest and all the other good levels. So yeah, Christmas is, it's really good. Not a masterpiece, though. I'm sorry. We have to, like, reserve the masterpiece tier for, like, real masterpieces. Like, I'm sorry. We cannot be giving this away like it's free hands and candy corn. I just realized that we're actually going to rank Varying Christmas if we stick around for 2017 levels. So, yeah, fine. We could do that. So, yeah, Christmas is good. Monody. Huh. Um. Huh. I think I might put Monody above. Yeah. I think Monody is good, bro. Like, Monody is, It's not as good as Castle in the Sky, obviously. It's kind of hard to recreate that, but it does recapture that feeling of all the rotating things coming into place and all that whatnot. Unfortunately, Monody doesn't use the other rotating tile variation objects as much as Castle in the Sky does. Like, you have the rotating riser, and then you have the rotating, like, spike tower where the spikes just form into place. They don't really do that, but I do like the usage of blocks, and I wish that they used the original Castle in the Sky themes, similarly to how I wish they used the original Halloween themes in Ghost Dance. But overall, Monody is pretty good. The forest themes look great. They feel very foresty, and the music, of course, is iconic, and it fits the level really well. But yeah, overall, it's pretty good. It's not as good as Christmas. Christmas has way too much going on. Kung Fu. This is kind of a controversial one. A lot of people like Kung Fu. I don't think that it holds up well at all. I do appreciate how they introduced this variation of the laser cannon. That's cool. I wish that was explored more often, where they added more laser cannon variations, like nuclear energy added a new one. That was pretty cool. But I don't like Kung Fu. Again, it was literally. Can y'all not hear me, by the way? Because Afton is saying holy mic quality, but I can't hear what y'all are hearing. Okay, no. I think it's fine. Afton, I think that's just a you problem. But I know that my mic kind of like blips out sometimes. Plus, when I breathe into it, it probably sounds like a sandstorm. But yeah, Kung Fu's like not good, and I'm sorry, but Kung Fu was clearly just an attempt to ride off of the hype of Kung Fu Panda. Like, it's just so obvious. Like, you have the Kung Fu Panda, the Dragon Warrior, and then you have the whole, like, they reuse all the E-Labyrinth objects to emphasize, like, the training thing that they have in Kung Fu Panda. Like, you know, that the room where he fights the Furious Five. It's just like it's not a cash grab, but it's like an attention grab. Like, the level wasn't made out of like pure creative like ideas. It was just a way to like jump on the hype train of Kung Fu Panda, because the third movie had just released by this time period, and I just like, yeah, I'm not impressed. It's not that great. When did this level come out, by the way? I think I'm missing something. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. This is a 2017 level. I was like, wait a minute, I thought this came out in January, and I was right. Yeah, okay, so we're already into 2017. I completely forgot. But, like, yeah, the transition is just completely seamless. So Monody was our last Castle in the Sky level. In case you want to see it, this is our 2016 ranking. There you go. Now let's add Kung Fu back, and now we're going into 2017. So with that, don't leave the stream. I will be back in like 1 second, because I need to get a food to put in my mouth. I kind of just realized I won't be able to eat this very much because y'all cannot be hearing ASMR while I eat some stuff. Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I'll just have to take bites out of it occasionally. I'm eating a turkey tuna salad sandwich. It's pretty good. Okay. Okay. No, it's a burger bun. So, candy. Oh yeah, by the way, Kung Fu is the first level to introduce crowns. They're not introduced very well. It's literally just like, let's go off to the side, and then the boss to jump around a bunch of tall things. That's literally all 3 crowns. Not impressed. Candy. Also has the same issue as Kung Fu. It's going in bad. I'm sorry. With this logic, I kind of can't praise Illusion this much, so I will also put it... Actually, no, I'll keep it here for now. But Candy is like... I'm sorry. I like how it introduces mystery boxes. Mystery boxes are a really cool thing, and I wish they were used a little bit more often, but they shouldn't be overused, so I'm glad that they're actually used as much as they are now. But, like, the way they use mystery boxes in this level is also kind of almost just as bad as Kung Fu. It's literally just, well, let's make the easy route, like, off to the side, and then you have 1, 2, 3 trees that you have to go around really slowly, and then the other side is like, let's just spam a bunch of movers, jump around a bunch of objects, and like there, now we have a mystery box. That is like 90% of the mystery boxes. Granted, there is one mystery box where you have to like go behind moving trees at the beginning of the second drop, which is the only like clever mystery box, because that was the first time when that was like literally the first collectible I ever found in the game where I was like, how the fuck do I get this collectible? Like, I was so like bewildered by it, but then when I saw the open hidden entrance, I was like, that's so cool. I love that. That was the only time when I liked the mystery boxes. Other than that, they're literally just go off to the side, use a bunch of movers, jump around a tall object. There, now you have the mystery box. Not impressed. Not very good. The theme is also, I like the colors. The colors look beautiful, but unfortunately, for some reason, the developers just did not bother to add objects or anything, so they just reuse a bunch of assets from old levels. They reuse Tetris, E-Labyrinth, and Christmas assets. I don't know why. I mean, like, maybe they wanted to like take the focus off of the theme of the level and just focus on the mystery boxes. Sure, fine, but in the grand scheme of things, it's just not a good idea. Like, it's not impressive to look at now. So I don't like Candy. Do I think it's better than Kung Fu? Yeah. Better music, the routes are a little bit better, and it's a little bit more creative than... Actually, no, Kung Fu is a little bit more creative, though. But Candy comes from a place of, like, genuinely wanting to, like, add something to the game, whereas Kung Fu is mostly just, like, guys, give me attention. Look, you Kung Fu Panda, right? Look, here's a Kung Fu Panda level, but we can't call it Kung Fu Panda because that would create copyright laws. Speaking of copyright laws, one up. Um... Before I do one up, is Candy a bonus level? Personally, I mean, I know that they call it a bonus level, but right now, I don't think that it is. Like, I don't personally see it as a bonus level because it doesn't take any existing idea from a singular level and elaborate on it or carry it on. That's what the main purpose of a bonus level is supposed to do. It's supposed to give the level an additional experience to an experience they already had. That is the way I view a bonus level. Candy does not give an additional experience to a singular level experience they already had, so I don't see it as a bonus level at all. But in any other case, Illusion gives you an additional experience to Forest, where it has the same exact themes and the same route style. Ghost Dance gives you as an additional experience to Halloween, because it has the same objects, same concept, and Monody does the same for Castle in the Sky. Candy, it doesn't work as a bonus level, so I have to just call it a main level. Not only that, but it introduces this completely new mechanic collectible, which is just like, yeah, I cannot call that a bonus. Sorry you had to hear the ASMR of me drinking. 57 people, oh my lord. Anyway, someone was saying a thing that I ignored. Well, I mean, like, Aiden Scotswin, like, originally the idea of a bonus was supposed to be like, this is a special thing for the game. Originally bonus levels were like in addition to the game as a whole, but now we get into the realm right about this moment in 2017 where the developers realize we can't just make a bunch of additional levels because we have so many levels already. So then around 8 bits, that's when they changed the definition of a bonus level to be an addition to a singular level, not in addition to the game. Because if a bonus level was just in addition to the game, then that just wouldn't, like, no one would care about bonuses by that point. Because, like, they could have a bonus level where it's, like, reggae mixed with neon mixed with Egypt, and no one would really care. Like, it would just be, like, slop. So, I'm glad they changed the definition to be more around, like, one bonus level for each main level. I like that, because it means that, like, every main level that you get, if you like an experience, you can experience it again, maybe not to the same extent, but you can experience it again in another level, which is just cool. I like that. So, yeah, I don't see candy as a bonus level now, but obviously back then it was a bonus level. Like, undoubtedly, they called it that. One up time. Yeah, it's probably the best good level we have so far. Like, I mean, yeah, it's good. Of course, you have the one, like, most iconic part of the level, the super jump power up. Super iconic. It's used in pretty much every level nowadays because it's so useful. It's a genius, simple idea that should have been added long before. And I can't even imagine how they made great levels like E-Labyrinth and Castle in the Sky without even using that super jump thing at all. Like, I'm so impressed that that was the case. But like, 1UP also has a bunch of other cool things. The whole retro video game aspect was completely new at the time. It was super well executed. I love all the ghosts. They have 2 ghost variants. I love the gaming controller archway, the flying bees. That's just cool. And then you have the destruction power up. The destruction power up is so cool. I love the destruction power up. Like, when it first came out, they then used it again for Cube and 8 bits, but by that point, they kind of, like, the devs just fucking forgot that this power-up existed, and so I was, like, really bothered by it, but then thankfully, they use it a lot now, in, like, Competition Park or Sugarfall, like, it's in a lot of levels now, so I'm very happy that this power-up got the recognition that it needs. But yeah, the level's just really solid all around. The music is great, by the way. F77's remix of 1UP is 10 times better than the original song. I don't care what y'all's opinions of the original song are, I don't like it. But the remix is just amazing. It feels so much more energetic, has more of a build-up and more of a drop. It just has so much more, like, oomph. Amazing. 8 bits. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's okay. I mean, like, okay, now that we're still on the topic of this, like, design, I have to give more credit to the destruction power up. The coding level that's required for that is, like, I don't think you have to make an obstacle that kills the player if they touch it, but if they have this other power, then they're allowed to break through it. Then they have to do that. They have to shake the screen, and then they have to animate little tiny blocks emitting from it to just, like, make the block look like it's being blown up. Like, and then you have to add the power up noise effect, and, like, they have to make the glowing effects, by the way, for that. That's a completely new thing. Like, the idea of, like, a repeated glow effect for a power up. Yeah. That's a lot of coding genius right there. Amazing. With 8 bits specifically in mind, though, it's pretty good. I like that it uses mystery boxes, but, like, it's a little bit too complicated for a 1-star. I know they wanted it to be a 1-star, but realistically, guys, it's a 2-star. Like, it is not a 1-star, because I think back then the definition of a level difficulty in its ranking was just the easy way, because that's why Cube was a 4-star. That's why 1UP was a 5-star, when Cube realistically was on average the same difficulty. But I think later on they changed it to make it an average of the 2, like, paths versus just the easy way. because now levels are an average. Like, for example, poker, the easy way is way easier than Deep Space's easy way, but now they're ranked around the same area because poker's crowns are way harder than Deep Space's collectibles. So overall, it's an average now, but back then, it they considered it like just the easy way. But right now, I think that's a kind of an outdated thing. 8-bits is definitely a 2-star. But with the routes specifically in mind, I mean, they're okay. I mean, like, I don't know. Does, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't like the last mystery box. The last mystery box is infamously annoying, but the other mystery boxes are fine. I mean, of course, 1-Up and 8-bits' mystery boxes are just so much better than Candy, like, as a whole. But I don't really like how 8-bits, like, teases the use of the binary bridges. Like, 1-Up uses them amazingly, but then 8-bits just does a thing where it's like super jump and then you just jump over the binary bridge, which is like, why is it even there if you're gonna just ignore it? And I know that it's supposed to be a 1-star, but then at that point, if you have something like a binary bridge, just make it a 2-star and actually use the bridge. Or you could do a thing like Happy Birthday does where you use objects like around the bridge so you can kind of guide the player before the bridge forms to make it a little bit easier. But yeah, that's just not I don't like how 8-bits handles a lot of things. The music is also boring. I know a lot of people like this song, Mutiny, but I don't think it's that good. F77 is a really overrated song composer in the like rhythm game community, and I don't think he's that great. He makes a lot of good bangers like this new 1-Up version or Deadlocked or Airborne Robots, but the majority of his songs are just kind of slow, repetitive slop, and 8-bits is no exception to that. Again, it has somewhat of a unique melody, and I like how it's more anchored towards like an archaic pirate theme, but it doesn't fit the high-tech aesthetic of 8-bits very well, and I'm just not that impressed. Another thing that 1-Up and 8-bits do that a lot of levels don't do is the way they have theme change orders. I like how 1-Up is main, alternate, green, main, green, alternate, main. Like, the pattern is like, it's a perfectly mirrored pattern of themes, and then 8-bits does the exact same thing. I wish more levels did that with 3 themes, but I mean, it's just a little nitpicky thing that I like to add on to give the level more credit. But, like, Pog, I know you're saying that 8-bits is a better 1-star because it introduces the players to crowns, but, like, no. Firstly, Eternity does that job better, but assuming this is in chronological order, if you look at the 1-stars of the time, it's just a terrible introduction because the player is supposed to be introduced to crowns first, the idea that they have a higher collectible than gems, but then the mystery boxes, they have crowns plus shield plus like extra lives, and that's just like such an unnecessary complication to introduce to a player. Like, introduce them to crowns first and then introduce them to stuff with crowns later. It would be like if you introduced the crown inside of that chest from Brazil Carnival before you introduce actual crowns. Then the player's going to think, wait, so the only time that I have this special collectible is if it's just mixed in with something else? Like, no, just give the player a crown, a normal crown, and then you can add all this other shit later. But, like, I don't think that 8-bits is a good collectible introduction. Cube. Oh, Lord have mercy on my soul. Cube is... Cube is bad, bro. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but Cube is just such a mess of a level. Like, the routes are just not good. It's kind of like, I don't know what happened in the route making department, but the developers made Candy, which is a really gimmicky level that is only designed for mystery boxes. They were like, here's a boring, easy route with nothing on it, and then we'll have a bunch of conglomeration of garbage that you have to go to get the mystery boxes. And then in 1-Up, they realized, oh wait, that we can actually make mystery boxes way more interesting and mix them in with the routes, but still make them special. And then 8-bits does arguably the same thing. But with Cube, they just like forgot that you can do that. It's like in Cube, their brain just like reset back to default settings, and they're like, oh wait, the only way we can use mystery boxes is if we have an easy route where you just do nothing, and then we have to have a bunch of conglomeration other stuff on the other side for you to jump around and then get the mystery box. It's just like, what happened to the creativity of collectibles in 1-Up and 8-bits? Cube just like ignores all of that. And not only that, but Cube is like one of the most like Cube has one of the most like failed productions of any level in Rolling Sky. This is going to become a theme more common in the Minimax era. But another thing that I want to talk about in these rankings is the history behind these levels being made. Cube is like, it started out as a completely different level. It started out originally going to be called Geometry, had relatively different textures, and it had like 4 or 5 more objects. Like, I don't know what happened, but the texturing for a lot of these objects just broke, and a lot of the objects looked unfinished. And instead of, taking one day to fix all of them, they're just like, okay, let's just like delete all of those extra objects, and then in the final level we have like 4 objects. So they deleted like more than half of the objects set in Cube, and then they thought that it would be a good idea to just reuse the same object over and over again in the level. Not a good idea. And it's disappointing because they have so many cool objects, like the semicircle that opens up, like the 5-lane wide semicircle, plus like the roller that goes off one end and then lands on the other. Like, those are such cool objects, but for some reason the level just like forgets that it used the semicircle. It never appears for the rest of the level. Same with the spinny geometry thingy. It's used at the beginning, and then it's used like one time at the ending, and then it's just never used anywhere else. Same thing with the blocks. The blocks with the V design on it, they show up in midway through the level, and then they just never show up again. It's like, not only did you delete half of your objects, but then for some reason you only use like 2 objects consistently in the level, and the other objects are just used like one time and never used in another spot. It's like, what was the design process behind this level? What happened, bro? Like, it's still better than Candy, and I'll actually put Kung Fu above Candy, because even though it's more of an attention-seeking level, it does have more interesting routes than Candy, so I'll give it that. But Cube is still bad. Like, the deleted obstacles were so cool. Like, you had one where it was like a pyramid wire structure, and then it dropped a cube down in the center. That was cool. You had one where it was a double spinning hammer. We had a pivot point, and then it had 2 blocks spinning around it. That was cool. And then, the V-shaped cubes that I was talking about earlier, where they kind of just start out and then they like split into a bunch of more cubes. They had 2 other variations of that, which were then used in Eternal Journey. But like, those were so cool, and they just abandoned them for no reason. And then they had an archway. The archway looked so cool. I wish I could find an animation for it. I know that SQDL found it a long time ago, but essentially it starts with nothing, and then it's like a million pieces just form into place. Like, it's like better than the Castle in the Sky archway. If they had that archway in Castle in the Sky, it would be so iconic, because all the pieces just like click together in this really satisfying way, and there's like a whole bunch of different pieces to it, and the animation was fully done, and the only thing that looked a little bit unfinished was the textures, because for some reason they pulled the texture from the flip tile area, so I had a bunch of those like weird patterns on it, but that could have been easily fixed, and instead the developers were like, no, let's just not use the archway, and I was just like, This level had so much potential. They fucked up the collectibles, they fucked up the routes, they fucked up the objects. It is kind of a failure of a level. And I'm gonna be honest, I think Kung Fu is a little bit better than Cube. Yeah, Cube is just bad. Matrix is actually a little bit better than Cube. In fact, Matrix might go... Is Matrix better than 8-bits? Yeah. It's not better than Sci-Tech. Yeah, Matrix is actually pretty good. See, after their absolute failure of understanding when it comes to crowns in Cube, Matrix actually fixes that once again. The Matrix mystery boxes are way better than Cubes, even though technically they still have the same route style of easy way on this side, collectible route on this side. The collectible route, you have to jump around a bunch of things to get the mystery box. But in Matrix, it's not as ridiculous, and also the easy way has stuff to do. Like, the easy way isn't just a straight line that you go on, like it is in Candy or in Cube. So Matrix does it a lot better. The remix song, I don't think it's better than the original X-Zero Trip remix, but the second remix is okay. I mean, it's alright. I think that Matrix has a lot better usage of the obstacles in general. See, Cube had the issue of, like, it uses these cool obstacles one time and then just never again, which was really stupid to me. But thankfully, Matrix corrects that, and they use all these obstacles throughout the entire level. That's what I mean by I'm glad that bonus levels were redefined to become, like, a derivative of an existing singular level. Because now, like, if you have an issue like I do with Cube, where it just underuses objects, fails in collectibles, and just is unimpressive in all of its aspects, then you can say, oh, well, I'm glad that we have a bonus level because now we can elaborate on all those things and do something different, and hopefully people will like that differently. And yeah, it's a genius idea to add bonus levels in this way. So Matrix is really impressive relative to Cube. I like it. Poker. Where are we putting poker? What would I put in my original ranking list? Okay. But, like, I think poker is it as good as Deep Space? No. I'm putting it right here. I'm actually going to move Tetris down to It's Okay, because just to conserve space. And, like, overall, I think that the difference between City and Tetris is bigger than the difference between Tetris and Sci-Tech. So, yeah, I like poker. Again, the objects are probably the highest quality objects we had in the game up to this point. They're not as clever as Castle in the Sky or E-Labyrinth, but the objects are the most high quality. Like, the cards look so crisp and clean. The guards, even though their feet are animated weirdly, how their card, like, model just crosses over itself. That's a big yikes when it comes to animation. But overall, the card's animated well. I love the king card, how he just, like, shrinks down and the card appears. That's really cool. I like that. I also love the Joker cards. I love how they have, like, that's the first time where we've seen a new obstacle on a glass tile instead of a regular tile, and that turned out to be kind of useless at the time. But then around, like, VR Fairyland, when that level came around, that's when they finally revisited the idea and thought, hey, let's put new objects on glass tiles, and then it allowed for a lot more variation. Not only do you have glass tiles, but you also have sliding tiles. Poker is also the first level to introduce, like, new objects on sliding tiles, because you have those, like, poker pillars with the 4 different poker symbols going on sliding tiles. That's super inventive and cool, and it definitely lasted until this day, because now pretty much every Minimax level has some kind of new object on a sliding tile or a glass tile. So I'm glad that that's the case. As for the routes, they're pretty good. I like the introduction of the quadruple jump boost. At the time, it was pretty useless, because, like, all poker really ever did with it was, let's just use it, and then you have a bunch of, like, flat glass panes you have to jump on, and the Joker has the same issue, and it's not creative at all. But thankfully, I think the beginning of poker, the first time they used the power-up, is really cool to get over all of that messy glass, and the glass has really good patterns too. And overall, I just love all the objects. I love the routes. The song is really, really repetitive, but I think that the song is still good overall. It's really catchy, and the use of bass combined with the drums makes it feel really, like, energetic. It makes it, like, good. The crowns are a little bit too much, and I know that the devs realize this, because the crowns from here on out are a lot easier, but the crowns are too much, but they're still clever, and they're not, like, these are probably the most well thought out collectibles so far in the game, because before it was either just easy way, collectible way, do stuff on the collectible way, yada yada. 1UP was kind of like that, but it wasn't terrible. But then poker was the first level to, like, mix the easy way with the crown routes. So at least for the first crown. So I do like how they did that, but the crowns are a little bit too hard. The third crown is, like, at this point, like, why? Like, it's a little bit too much. But overall, I mean, yeah, I like pretty much everything in the level. The new version, the version that they tweaked to add in extension tiles and move objects, no, that version sucks. But I'm just going to, like, ignore that and just take this as the original level that it is. Because, like, most of the time when Minimax does a tweak, it doesn't change the level too much, but I genuinely think that with the Minimax tweaks, I would put it, like, here. Like, that's how much worse I see the level because of the Minimax tweaks. Like, I hate the Minimax tweaks. They make the level look so much uglier. God, it's awful. Unfortunately, yeah, poker's second crown, Matt MG, yeah, it does. I'm not going to even defend that. That's also pretty terrible. But I think that overall it's still more impressive. Hang on a second. Sorry, I had to, like... Never mind. I thought someone was outside. Anyway. Joker. I don't know why they put this in full caps. I also don't know why they introduced the car character, or like a new character for this level. Like, what? You should have introduced the car for like 1-up. That would have fit so much better. But for some reason they put it until this one. I'm willing to believe that like the Rolling Sky, not just Minimax, but Rolling Sky as a whole has a history of not getting character models right. Like, there's so many instances where they've had to push something back because they like messed it up earlier. Like, I know that this car is one example of that, but then you also have the demon from Phantom Thief that was supposed to come out way earlier, and then you have the disco ball from Beach Party Rock that was originally supposed to come out in New Year, which was a long time before then. And what other characters were delayed significantly? Oh yeah, not significantly, but the pumpkin was supposed to come out for Halloween night, but then it got pushed back to Skeleton Party because they couldn't get the particle effects correct. So I'm willing to believe that this car had the same thing, because there's no reason they'd put it in Joker. Anyway, enough yapping about stuff the level can't actually control. Joker itself is just okay. In terms of actually placing it somewhere, I'm gonna put it like here, actually. It's not as good as Massif, because Massif's introduction is just so much, it's so good that it just has to be better than Joker. Joker's not better than the other two bonus levels, because like the level just doesn't know when to end, right? Like, this is a thing that a lot of people don't talk about. The level is actually way more repetitive than people think it is. Like, the song is super, super repetitive. It just keeps going on and on and on. And the routes just kind of copy each other from earlier in the level. And usually I'd be okay with that because I like it when routes mirror themselves. But in this case, it just feels like they're running out of ideas. Like, this feels like a level that should have been way shorter, and they just keep pushing it on, and I just don't like it. The object usage is just nowhere near as impressive as poker. The song is more repetitive and less interesting and less energetic. The use of quad jump is like pretty much just as bad as it is in poker. It's not very impressive, and they have a lot of like errors with it too. Like, there's that one part where you use the quad jump to get the second crown, I believe, but like you can jump on the easy way instead of going to the other side. And yes, the Minimax did fix this, but like the fact that the original devs didn't think about that basic cheat is kind of strange. Like, how did you not notice that initially? And yeah, Joker's just not really impressive. I'm sorry. Reggae? Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Where are we? Put in Reggae chat. Where did I even put it before? Did I really put it over there? I can't even find it. Hold up. I don't know why this is taking so long. There's no way. Reggae, yeah, it's going here. I think it's better than City because the music is a lot better, and of course the speed mechanic is one of the greatest mechanics ever introduced in the game. Does it fit Reggae very well? Nah, not really, but I like that it's introduced nevertheless. I also think that Reggae is another one of those levels that introduces an object that just never gets used. Let's try and do the thing again. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but back here, they have these two tall disco laser things. Those are just never used. I don't know what happens to them, but they just forget that these objects exist, and I can't find their models anywhere in the game. No idea what that's supposed to be about, but yeah, they don't exist. Reggae also has another unused model, where it's kind of like a 3x3x3 cube structure, and it's like an archway, but it's like, it takes up 3x3 spaces, and it's just like a generic cube structure. But other than that, yeah, Reggae is just not very good. It also, like, it's another one of those levels that just uses its objects very horribly, like really horribly, almost worse than cubes. But the only reason cube is a lot worse is because The only reason cubes is worse is because a lot of the objects are deleted, which is just an ultimate sin when it comes to like changing objects and stuff. Okay. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the third crown, I mean, like, I would count that as a criticism, because, again, it's so silly that the developers didn't see that. But, like, I'm not going to let that weigh down the level, because, like, it's just such an iconic thing. It's, like, so laughably silly that they didn't see that. And, of course, like, I'm glad that Minimax understands the community, and they didn't change the third crown, even though they tweaked the level. Because, like, yeah, it's too iconic to change, and it's just funny. It's a nice aspect to the level. It makes it more charming that way. But overall, the routes are just not good. Like, I do give it credit for introducing the speed pads, both fast and slow. But whenever they use them, the routes are so bad, bro. Like, the routes, like, whenever they're not using them, the routes are, like, passable. They're not really nicely detailed. The glass detail sucks. Like, overall, the route just doesn't flow very well. But then when these bad boys are pulled out, it just goes from, like, a 5 out of 10 to like a 2 out of 10, maybe even a 1 out of 10. The glass detail just dies, and then the routes are just either a straight, like, one movement required, or it's just like super slow, so there's nothing even happening. And it's like, nah, you could have used those way better. Blazing Tracks uses the speed pads so much better. So does how did I forget the name of it? I'm so stupid. What is the level? Oh yeah, Robotoy. Robotoy uses them really well, and just other levels do it better. Even Midnight Carnival does it better, or Circus does it better too. But Reggae, I mean, yeah, I'll give it credit for introducing it. Reggae also has an issue. For some reason, they're like afraid of putting tiles under an obstacle. For example, you have the pyramid obstacle that splits into a bunch of pieces, and then you also have the giant stereo, like the giant speaker. But for some reason, they don't put tiles underneath the objects. They just let them float uncomfortably over a void. Like when the pyramid splits into 5 pieces, the spikes just float over the void, and it's like they do it deliberately. Like every time that pyramid was used, they put a void over the spikes, and I was like, why are you doing this? Like, just put a tile there. But I don't know what was going on with the routers, but they just never wanted to put a tile underneath an obstacle. It was very strange. And then you have the extending spring-loaded things, which are cool, but again, they didn't put tiles under them, which is weird. And then, of course, they're only used like for a second, and then they're never touched again, which is really, really concerning. I might have to move my stream to a different device because how's my battery going on my camera? It's basically exactly the same. Okay, so that is going away. Hold up, I need to change my stream. Not changing the stream, I need to open my stream on my computer so I can see it as well. YouTube. Let's see, okay. Okay, so I have it open here. Come on. Yeah, alright. And then I'll open this, put it right here. Okay, it's pretty good for now. Hang on, can y'all like type something so I know that it's updating on my screen? Just say anything. Okay, yeah, it's working. What is Sneak22 saying? What? Okay, firstly, my theory is that they're just trying to jump on the Illuminati hype train, but tell me why you think there's an I in Reggae, Sneak22. While you explain that, I will Okay, the reason why I muted myself is because y'all didn't have to hear my ASMR eating my sandwich, but I was also waiting for Sneak to explain why the Reggae has an eye. But yeah, I think that Reggae was also somewhat of an attempt to jump on the hype train of the internet at the time, because like let's be honest, like it's very obviously a parallel to Illuminati. You have a pyramid with an eye inside of it, and then the eye floats out of the pyramid. Oh my god, it's Illuminati confirmed. Oh my god, this is like a super big thing back in 2017. And yeah, I'm not impressed. And then of course they have the fidget spinners, bro. Okay, like you can't even defend this one. Like, it is literally just a fidget spinner. Granted, I like the way they're used. I like how they spin and they cause the player to launch into the air. But again, Reggae also has the issue of Cube, where it uses them like once and then never again. It's like, why did you invent this obstacle if you're just gonna use it for nothing? So yeah, that was really dumb. Drop a bunch of jump pads and tiles into place. That is like such a cool idea. Like whoever came up with that idea is definitely the same person who came up with the E-Labyrinth snakes and a whole bunch of other stuff, because that is just genius. The idea that jump pads and tiles fall into place in the form of blocks is so cool. Like, why wasn't this concept explored more? They could have had more variations for it as well. Or they could have even made it custom, where like you have a trigger that creates a block and then it expands into whatever the player places down in terms of tiles and jump pads. That would have been so cool. But of course, the dumbass Reggae router just used those two block things that had like hours of animation put into them, used them for 2 seconds, and then they're never used anywhere else in the level. Why was this the case? Don't know, but it's really dumb, and it bothers me more than any other object in this entire level. Now, why is my camera not working? Oh, that was a mistake. Uh-oh, that was not supposed to happen. Oh, wait, no, that's fine. Dead, that's how it's gonna be. Let me try and reset it just in case. Okay, I reset the app. Okay, good. It's working for a little bit, at least. Even though it's running at 1 frame per second. Yeah, so Reggae was clearly, like, it was an attempt to jump on the fidget spinner hype and the fucking Illuminati hype. That was so goofy. Ethereal, I'm talking about how Reggae is jumping on the meme hype train during 2017. Not very entertaining. Oh my god, dude, the fidget spinners in amusement park, oh, just beautiful. They should have used them even more. But, you know, I'll take what I can get. But that, we're going to discuss that in the 2025 ranking later this year. So, Relics. You're probably wondering, why aren't we ranking Mental Rave first? That's because Relics actually came out before Mental Rave, because they had a scheduling issue or something, so Relics came first. Anyway, where's Relics going? Let's see. I think I'm going to put it... Is it... Yeah. It's better than 1UP, actually. Relics is a good level. Oh, yeah. Like, Relics, it's a little bit overrated, but I think that it's good. Like, the portal, amazing. Such a cool concept. I know that they kind of cheated by using invisible tiles, but, like, come on, I don't care. Like, the portals are still really used nicely, animated nicely. I love the flame effect that they use for this fireplace. Oh, it looks so beautiful. And I like how they don't try to make it too realistic. They just use cubes, but it really fits the tone of the level and like Rolling Sky object design in general. And the spikes are cool. I love the skeleton deer thing, even if it's poorly animated. The owl actually looks like really good. I don't know like what kind of animation rig they used for that, but it's really impressive. They have this cubic tree, kind of unimpressive. I don't like how they just make it grow like there's a lot more interesting ways to do that. But either way, Relics is a really solid level. The music is super energetic. I love the music so much. It is such a great soundtrack. And I also, this is another thing that backgrounds don't do nowadays, where like the backgrounds in Relics are like mirrors of each other but upside down. Like, I like how Relics' background is upside down, and then the Fairytale background is right side up. And it's like the same castle, but flipped, and the colors are different. Like, that's such a cool design, and I wish that more backgrounds did that kind of parallel thing. Yeah. Like, again, the Relics portal itself is cool in design, but then of course I also like how they give you the choice of two portals, and if one of them is a dead end, that's just cool. I mean, come on, I like that. They could have done more with that, but thankfully it gets revisited later on in a bunch of other levels. So, Mental Rave. Hmm. How do we feel about Mental Rave? Mental Rave is one of two of the levels that I think have the best glass detail in the entire game. It's a really random thing to comment on when it comes to a level, but glass detail is way more important than people think. And glass detail in this level is like literally perfect. The usage of glass just makes such elaborate, beautiful patterns to look at. Like the glass, I don't like, yeah. Not only that, but Mental Rave, once again, similar to Matrix, is a better usage of all the objects in the main level. Like, every other, like, the cubic structures are used better, the more objects are more prevalent. The only thing that I don't like is how they just ignore the spring-loaded loudspeaker that they used for 2 seconds in Reggae and then never again. But they use the speed pads better, they use the fidget spinners better. It's really impressive. So, we're going to put Mental Rave in, oh... Which one is actually better, though, in quality? I think I don't know, this is kind of a tough one. Where did I put... okay. I think I'll put it here. I think it's... I'm sorry, actually. I can't put it in good. It's okay. Because, like, while it is, the glass detail is really good, and the routes are pretty clean, it uses objects better, the music is decent, it's just, the routes just aren't that spectacular overall. I didn't even talk about this. Reggae also introduces the rotating pillars. I also hate this. Like, I love the idea of the animation, but the rotating pillars are used god awfully. Like, they're used horribly. They're used one single time, and then they're just like, they don't even serve a purpose. Like, for example, you have the rotating pillar for the easy way, and then you have the rotating pillar that, like, rotates a little bit further, which is already in itself an odd choice. But then they have the gem route, and you can just cheat it by ignoring the first jump pad. And it's like, what kind of mindset went into creating this one collectible? But, like, yeah, that was a stupid thing, the rotating pillar. That was really dumb. And then, Mental Rave used it a little bit better, but not that much better. Thankfully, the rotating pillar gets a lot more things to do in Egypt and Eye of Horus, which we will get to momentarily. How long has the stream been going, by the way? Holy Lord have mercy. Minus... Oh? My god, we've been going for 2 hours. Holy Lord. That is crazy. Yeah, I told you this would be a long one, because, like, there's just a lot of levels. So we go all the way until Varying Christmas. Okay, here we go. Chat? Why isn't it loading? Oh, wait, yeah, what is going on? Why is chat not working? I don't want to close this, because I feel like I'm worried that it's going to delete it. I won't be able to get it back, but, you know, too late now. Anyway, close the chat window. If you'd like to show it again, use the docs menu on the menu bar. Okay. Where is the menu? Slow? Docs. Custom browser docs. Chat. Okay. Good. Great. Oh shit, we don't want that. No, please don't break this. It took me so long to set this whole thing up. Oh, thank God. Chat. So that can line up a little bit better. What is, bro? Okay, please. I need it to turn back on so I can see the camera. Okay, there we go. Chat. Nice. Okay. So, next one. Street basketball. Again, this came before Fairytale because of scheduling issues, but here we are. Street basketball. I'm not even coughing. I'm just doing that as like a fidgety thing. Yeah. Also, Halloween. It turns out I actually think City is a little bit better, so we're gonna plop that down there. But as for street basketball, this is just such a like. This is the first time when a level has had an idea, and then when it comes to making all the mechanics, it just locks the fuck in. Like, you have the basketball hoops, then you have the new net that bounces you into the air. Granted, it's the same idea as the super jump, but it's still a really cool model and idea. And then you have the backward, like, guys, making the ball move backward I remember at the time people were going insane over this. Like, the idea of the ball going backward, let alone going slow or fast, but moving in the opposite direction was just like it felt illegal. It felt wrong, but the level used it in such a way where it never felt like it was like broken. Like, it always felt consistent in its usage of the backwards thing, and that was elaborated on in Midnight Carnival, but we'll get to that later. But for now, I think that the backward usage is so great. The animation for the hoops, like the glowing effect around them, and the fence, the way the fence glows, really impressive. I love the animations. I love how the going to the hoop slows time down. Like, that is so cool. Like, it just, you really feel the energy, especially when the drop hits, and then you're going through a whole bunch of basketball hoops, and it just really feels like it syncs perfectly with the music. Even though you can avoid some of the hoops and off-sync the level, it still syncs really well for some reason. Like, you can avoid around 3 different hoops during this time period. Also, is my mouse about to run out of battery? That would be annoying. Wait, I wouldn't even have a way of pointing and selecting things. That would actually be a problem. Uh-oh. I really hope that doesn't happen, because I don't know what I would do without that, because that would cause the stream to be delayed extremely painfully. Oh my god. L. Atkins, thank you, thank you, thank you. The ending feels so emotional. Like, the ending is so good. Like, hate it, because I used to say that the music at the end sounded girly, but looking back on it, the way the music swells up and it adds so much flair. Like, the beginning of the music was already great, but then it adds in piano, and then it goes into a chorus, and then it adds a bunch of synth, and I'm just like, wow, 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 wow. That is a great transition to the music. I love it when levels feel completely different than they do at the start, but still the same level of quality. And yeah, I'm really impressed with what they did with the ending of Street Basketball. And of course, the ending is great route-wise as well, because they go what is happening? Wait a minute. Wait, hang on a second. Oh, okay. I was about to say that I was looking at the stream, and I accidentally was watching it really far behind, so I thought that y'all were 5 minutes behind in terms of delay, and I was like, that's kind of annoying. Thankfully, that's not the case. Let's see, and so the part is just, hang on. Okay, there we go, so it's fixed. Yeah, I'm stopping at winter, because that's the last 2017 level. So, yeah, Street Basketball is amazing. The way that the ending just takes everything that wing of the level and uses all of it. Not only the speed pad, but the basketball hoops, the backward boosting fence. Really great stuff. I love all the objects, even though some of them are a little basic, but it's super impressive. And the one thing that I think is super goofy is that, they try and fit the name into the background of Street Basketball. So it starts out saying street on one side, and then they have the hyphen, but then it just squeezes basketball into the ending, and it's I always thought that was so silly. You really couldn't align the name properly. But it's fine. It's a unique thing. I like it when they put the actual name of the level inside the background and make it look like it fits. But I always thought that was so silly. What? Why did they do that? Okay, bye, Diego. But that was I still like it. Fairytale. Mm-hmm. Uh, uh, uh. I mean, like, it's better than Mental Rave, that's for sure. And again, it's another example of the glass detail being really great. And overall, I mean, like, the song is really good too. So I don't really know how I would go about commenting on this level. It's better than all of this. Is it better than Street Basketball? No. Is it better than Poker? Yeah. So Fairytale's going right here. Because again, the glass detail is the second example where the glass detail is the best in the entire game, alongside Mental Rave. Like, the glass detail makes it look like a fairy tale. It fits the vibe so nicely. The patterns look so beautiful. I love it. I love it. Great stuff. And then the routes are just decent. Like, the routes are just solid the entire way through. And they elaborate more on the usage of Relics portals, which is more intriguing for a bonus level to do. I like that. The music is, of course, like one of the most highly regarded songs in the entire game, so there's not much to debate when it comes to there. Yeah, Fairytale is good. Midnight Carnival. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, when I first saw this level, I played it and I was like, oh my god, this is one of the best levels I've ever seen. And of course, as you can expect, my opinion of Midnight Carnival has kind of degraded more and more over time, to the point where, like, I genuinely think it's probably a... And that's because, like, Midnight Carnival the routes are really broken sometimes. Like, the routes are kind of like... They're just so ugly. Like, I don't know what it is about the routes, but they're just so broken. Like, they just feel like half AI generated, and then they, like, fixed a bunch of impossible parts of the route, but then it just feels so wrong. Like, for example, there's that one part in the second time the green theme appears, and they use the zombies for the first time, the ones that, like, spin their head around and, like, mangle about, and then for some reason they only use the 3 lanes on the side, and then the other side is just a void. It's like, that's what I mean by the routes just feel wrong. Like, it's like they just forget that there's a giant empty space of nothingness while there's this little contained route on the side. And then they have other instances too where, again, they did fix this, but of course at the time the movers, where they, like, all lined up movers back to back, they were all accidentally connected, so they just all shifted in this glitchy way, and they fixed it. But even if the original level had it fixed, it's literally just copy of Sci-Tech. And I know World Cup does this too, but, like, again, it's just not creative. It's just kind of weird, and I don't think the themes actually look that great. I will even say that Halloween has better looking themes and objects, by the way. Midnight Carnival's objects just feel like they put less effort into the level. Like, in Halloween, they had the skeletons. The animations for the skeletons and the ghosts was great. The model just feel a lot more, like, refined. Of course, you had the pumpkin. But then in Midnight Carnival, the objects are a lot lower quality. Like, Dracula is literally just a model, and they just move the entire model forward, and it's like, you couldn't even animate him walking. Like, is it really that hard to put in a little bit of effort into these models? Then Frankenstein is almost just as bad. And then, of course, you have other objects like the laser thing with the Midnight Carnival, like the pumpkin with the laser inside of it, which is cool, but, like, it's literally just a flat laser texture, and it's just like, no. Like, the models are just not very good. And then, like, they reuse assets as well. Like, okay, I didn't even talk about the witch, but the witch looks awful. Like, the witch is, like, you can see all the poly shapes on the witch. Like, it's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to look like an actual witch, but it just looks like a geometric shape, and it looks wrong. And the way it's animated to just slowly move in is just so goofy. I don't like it, bro. I used to love this level, and now I'm looking at it. It's just not good. Also, I'm not even going to zoom in this time, but they have pumpkin zombies here. Those don't exist in the level. They have pumpkins on the ground here. Those don't exist either. They just have pumpkins on that gate, but that's, like, just a complete misrepresentation of the level. I don't know what's going on there. Just more clickbaity thumbnails. Not a fan of that stuff. And yeah, the object usage is also, frankly, terrible. Again, you have the zombies that I talked about earlier, but then the spiders are overused way too much, and the only thing that saves this level is the backward usage. The backward usage is cool. It's not as cool as Street Basketball because, again, they didn't technically invent the backward usage, but it's used well. It could have been used better because, like, all it ever does is, like, jump. It's its own secluded route, jump, backward boost, and then you jump and continue the route. Like, in, of course, amusement park, it's used so much better. But in Midnight Carnival, it's fine, I guess. It's whatever. Also, I keep hearing noises outside. I need to keep checking this stuff. What? Okay. Yeah, okay. So, Halloween Escape. Halloween Escape is not good, bro. Like, Halloween Escape is terrible. Like, it's worse than Ghost Dance. Like, firstly, Halloween Escape, this character looks ugly. I don't like how this one looks. The trick ball, the mummy, it just looks bad. Not only that, but the music is just so generic. Even Midnight Carnival had better music, because, like, it was Hall of the Mountain King, but then they elaborated on it further. Whereas this level, it's like, this is Halloween, and then it just goes on and on and on. And then the rest of the song is just, like, it doesn't even have a melody. It's just, like, generic, like, stuff. I don't know. I don't like the music. The level just looks so ugly. It has the same themes as Midnight Carnival, but the way they use objects, and because it's an easier level, it's a lot more spaced out, so the objects just feel so out of place. Like, the objects are really overcomplicated, but then the fact that they're all spread out just makes them feel wrong and not fitting in the level. Not only that, but the textures are not really that good, so when you can see more of the textures, it makes the level look worse. Not only that, but the usage of the speed pad and the spiderweb slowdown effect in this level are worse than they are in Midnight Carnival. Like, I don't like it. And, yeah. The routes are just not good at all. The routes are an absolute mess. Even Ghost Dance is better. The Ghost Dance has better textures, better music, better objects. This level just has all of the baggage that Midnight Carnival has, and then it makes it so much worse. Like, and of course the backward usage is way less interesting than in the original level. Yeah. The only thing that's relatively interesting is the second crown. I like how messy it is, but other than that, no. Ignite. Oh boy. I'm sorry, bro. Actually, it is not. Ignite is super overhyped. And again, this is another example of it clearly not being an aspiration of creativity. It's just, hey, this thing is popular. Let's jump on this popular hype train and get more attention. It's just like, it's so obviously a cash-in. It's not technically a cash-in because they don't get money specifically from this level because it's pirated and it's not actually, like, given permission from Alan Walker. But it's clearly just an attempt to say, hey guys, look at our level. Guys, look, it's Alan Walker. It's Ignite. Not only that, but the remix just sucks. The remix is terrible. Not only does it have, like, all the oomph from the original song just gone, not just the lyrics, but the melodies that they use. They, like, swapped out the synth for their own synth, and it's just bad. Not only that, but then the level ends right before the second drop. So it builds up, then it has the drop, and then it goes calm again, and then it builds up again, and the level just ends. It's like, what? I understand that back at the time, they never had a level that exceeded, like, 2 minutes and 10 seconds, right? But then this is the one time it would have been acceptable, and then they end up breaking that barrier anyways, so might as well have just done it now. But they end the level on such an unsatisfying note, and the ending just sucks. They just spam a bunch of towers and barriers and stuff. It looks ugly. I remember I saw a teaser for Ignite before it was even announced to be Ignite, and I saw the background. Like, that's the only thing they showed. And dude, the background is like, the background is like clickbait. Like, the background looks completely different than what we actually get in the level. When I first saw the background, it looked like an like whatever we got with industrial base is technically what I thought was going to happen with the background, because you see like the Pentagon spotlight thing, which looks like a laser, and then you had a bunch of like techie stuff, and it looked like a factory. And I saw that, and I was so hyped up. I was like, "Bro, this is gonna be so good. This is gonna be like a crazy, like amazing, like high-tech dubstep level that's based on like a futuristic factory." And then I got Ignite, and I was like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like, this is disgusting. And I remember they had a second teaser, and that's when they announced that it was Alan Walker. And I didn't know what Ignite was, so I thought that the level was just called Alan Walker. And then the actual one came out, and I was just like, what on earth, bro? The routes are terrible. Like, not only do they just, again, it has the same issue as Reggae, where they have objects that extend off of the tile, but then they don't put another tile under the objects. So it's just the object uncomfortably floating over the void. And I have no idea why the developers don't see these basic things that they have to do to fix the detail. But then not only that, it's just like, the routes are bad. And I'm not even starting myself when it comes to the reverse sections. The reverse sections, I understand they have to make the routes easier so that the player can get used to the reverse effect of the ball, but the reverse effect itself is just kind of I know it's used a lot, but it's just kind of a dumb mechanic. Like, I don't like how it's just reverse. It's just kind of like, what? Like, it's just not creative. And it has nothing to do with Ignite. It has nothing to do with the theme of this level. I don't understand how, like, a wall of code makes the ball confused and go into reverse mode. Like, no. This would be better suited for, like, a happy level, like a goofy toy level, but not Ignite. And then, of course, in the reverse sections, the routes are genuinely worse than Volcano's routes. But those are only 2 sections, which isn't too bad. But the downside of that is that the red theme gets, like, no interesting screen time. The only times the theme is red is when it's the reverse section. So it just always looks shit. And I hate it. God, this is, like, just... Ignite is just a disappointment. But it's still better than Candy, because, like, Candy just has no originality at all. Desert's routes are messy. Sky's routes are... I'll put Sky above Desert, actually. I take that back. But, yeah, it's just... No. Anyway, Formless. I remember seeing a comment from you, but for some reason my brain just, like, shut down. You asked me how I would feel if you became a co-creation router. I tried to make you become a co-creation router, and then, of course, Minimax said, we'll think about it. But, like, that's basically their way of saying, no, we don't really care. We'll only come contact you if we're in a really desperate situation and we have no routers. So, like, you could still get it. It's not like you're blacklisted, but, like, when I tried to suggest this to Minimax through a different account, like, they weren't even interested in getting more routers at all. This was, like, a couple months ago, granted, but, I mean, I don't know. Right now, Minimax doesn't seem to be desperate for routers at this point. I know this because when they got the new router for Axelo Waltz, usually when they're desperate, they, like, go search through foreigners and they're like, hey, do you want to route this level? I know we asked this, like, a weeks before it's due, but, you know, yeah, we need a router right now. But, like, this time they were actually pretty well prepared, and the new router, Mr. something, like, I'm pretty sure they had him planned from the start. So I don't think that they're in a desperate situation where they need routers. Anyway. Oh, wait, I didn't realize. I can't even see the levels below then. I should have fixed that earlier. Okay, so you can't really see this, unfortunately. Actually, we might have to just zoom out. Okay, yeah. Okay. So, Hoop Dream. I'm going to rate this based off of, like, the original one, because the original one is the best one, but then I'll also take into account the changes that they made afterward. Not entirely sure what to do with this one. I mean, like, It's not better than Massif, because Massif is just a much cleaner level, and Hoop Dream's cover is more interesting than anything else in the entire level, which is kind of disappointing. Like, Hoop Dream does carry on the mechanics introduced in Street Basketball, and it does use the backward fence one time, which is fitting for a 1-star level. But again, like, the lack of crowns and the level is so flat and open. Like, even Massif has variation in its route structure, but Hoop Dream is like just 5 lanes, like open 5 lanes for a long period of time, and it just feels super empty and like boring. And I wanted them to use the gate that opens when you press the button, because I thought that was a cool mechanic as well, because it was technically invented before Ignite, but then Hoop Dream doesn't use it, and yeah, that bothers me. And I just don't like the way Hoop Dream uses a whole bunch of his objects. It's just such a basic level. And then, of course, you have the tweaked version where they just took everything that was, like, okay, and they just made it so much worse. They made a bunch of objects, like, shifted to the side, so they're even more useless than they were before. And yeah, I'm not a fan. In fact, I think Joker might be a little bit better, actually. Yeah, Hoop Dream is just not that great. And of course the music is somewhat interesting, but then like it they cut it off at the end, and it's just like, sure, I guess, whatever. 1 stars will be 1 stars, but it was just kind of boring. Not very impressive. Anyway, what did I do about this other one? I'm just trying to look in the original tier list once again, because I always like to do this stuff. Okay. Yeah, Hoop Dream is, yeah, not good. Well, Saint Neptune, I'm ranking like both versions of Ignite, because the new version isn't that different. All they did was add tiles underneath the objects, which again, that's a complaint that they fixed that I had from the original level, but it's still, like, it has the same issues. They didn't fix the routes much. And not only that, but Ignite introduces shifting tiles, where in Christmas they introduced shifting jump pads, which I need to give more credit. That's also a good part of Christmas. But then in Ignite they have the same kind of animation but for a regular tile. And there's a bug where if you put that moving tile next to a static tile, one that doesn't move, then the side of the static tile is like open, like you can see into it, and that's a texture like issue that they have. That's a bug. And Minimax knows that this exists because they fixed it for levels like Musical Theater, where it had the same bug. But then for Ignite, they didn't fix it. And how did they just forget to not do that? And yeah, I don't know, but that's another bug that was really obviously easy to fix in the original version that they just never got around to. Really strange. Don't know why they did that. But yeah, we have 2 more levels now. We have Varying Christmas, and then we have the Winter. Cloud is the first 2018 level. This is like, I remember 2018 was when they tried to do like a semi-reboot of the game, and it was kind of unsuccessful, so they just gave up and moved straight to Neon, which I thought was funny. But, I mean, we're only going to focus on these last 2 for now. So, Varying Christmas. Varying Christmas it's a good level, bro. Varying Christmas, it's such a great way to end the year. I know it's not the last level of the year, but it's one of the last, and it is just a perfect summation of everything that we've seen throughout the year. It's great. I love it. Like, Varying Christmas, it's just such a, I don't think that the routes are as good as Christmas by any means. I don't think that the objects are as good as Christmas, because it doesn't even have the creativity aspect of changing from 2D to 3D, and, but I do like the models overall. I also think that the level doesn't use the models very well, because there's so many models that they use in like the middle section that never appear anywhere else in the level. But I think that the first drop is cool. The Santa effect is really nice, and I just love how it just feels like a Christmas party. That's the thing that the original level didn't have. It didn't feel as festive as this one. This level felt more like magical and ethereal, but it didn't feel like real. It felt like fake. This one, on the other hand, Varying Christmas feels a lot more realistic. The background is more realistic too, And I also like this time around how they finally brought back the borderless mover idea all the way back from Volcano, but this time it actually works really nicely because the tiles, like they have the corners are a little bit like brighter than the rest of the tile, so it makes it feel like there's snow on the tiles. Really great stuff. I love Varying Christmas. And yeah, we haven't talked about like other stuff. Like the present is such a cool thing. Like it's such a simple idea, but like giving the player a free shield is just such a Christmassy thing to do. Like what kind of like who wouldn't want a free shield for Christmas? Like, it's just a wholesome thing to put into the level. I love it. I love it so much. And then of course like I mentioned the Santa effect. That's really cool. The ice skating Santa looks really good. And then the usage of mechanics is really cool as well. It brings back the destruction power up, which is cool. Then it introduces the mini jump pads, which aren't actually that popular now, but I mean they're still cool and they're nice for sinking things. I wish they were used more often as well. I remember Chess Fortress. Okay, here's the thing. To give you a little bit of the history, they were first introduced in Varying Christmas, then in Winter, and then they were used like for a second in Microchip, which was cool, but like I don't know, they were kind of useless. They're only used for sync. And then they were literally never used again. And Jade Rabbit created a new model for the mini jump pad where it was going to like be the same exact thing, but it was going to pull from a different part of the texture. But essentially, they were going to have the mini jump pad in Jade Rabbit. But then for some reason they backed out of it. Square Root didn't want to use it. Don't know why, but it didn't end up getting used. And then in the Chess Fortress update, like no, not in the update, in the teaser, they showed not only the second floor, but they showed mini jump pads in Chess Fortress, and they had mini jump pads on the second floor. I was so hyped up for that. I was like, not only do we have this really cool jump pad coming back, but they also have it on the second floor. That is so cool. Lo and behold, the second floor showed up for like 1 second, completely underwhelming, and then the mini jump pad wasn't even used at all. And then I believe that the first time they used it was Dinosaur Valley. Which, I mean, yeah, I liked it in Dinosaur Valley. Dino Disco, mini jump pad was pretty terrible in Dino Disco, but I mean, at least they used it more. And then they used it in Jungle Expedition, which I thought was pretty neat. So, yeah. But overall, the mini jump pad has had a really rough history in Rolling Sky. I wish there was a level that really just, like, locked the fuck in and used the mini jump pad the way it was supposed to be used originally. But, you know, Varying Christmas does a good job introducing it. Then Varying Christmas brings back the blocks, the design used in Castle in the Sky and 1-Up and Midnight Carnival. I love this block design. People call it the master block, because like anything that's related to Castle in the Sky, they call it the master variant of the obstacles, because they just look like the same obstacles, but they're just more like they're more old-fashioned looking, and they look a lot nicer. So I love those blocks, and then I love the destruction power up used to blow them up. And then they don't even stop there. They for just a nice little cameo, they use the Relics portal. Again, I just think this level is a perfect summation of all the 2017 levels because it just uses so much old stuff. And then after the Relics portals, it uses the backward boost from Midnight Carnival. Like, oh god, like you have to admit that's just cool. That's so nice how they just like bring everything together in one nice finale of a level. And of course, the music is amazing. The music is the one Christmas song where they don't rely on like the same melody over and over again. And the opening theme is like, "'Tis the Season," and then it just excels into its own melody. Like from there on out, it just becomes its own song, and I love it. And of course, the ending melody is just so catchy. Like I don't even know what instrument they use for that. It's probably like a horn mixed with an electric guitar, but it's so well done. And yeah, I do think that the routes struggle themselves and the object usage isn't great, but the level is just a perfect celebration of everything in Rolling Sky. And like this year didn't have an anniversary level necessarily. Castle in the Sky kind of serves as the anniversary for the first year, but this one didn't have one. But Varying Christmas serves as a really nice celebration of everything that the game has been building up to. Amazing stuff, absolute masterpiece, would not change a thing. Winter. Here's the thing, there are two different types of winter. There's the winter that released, and there's the winter in the very next update where they got rid of all the mystery boxes. So, the original winter would have gone like here, but the new winter would have gone like here. So, I mean, we're going to put winter in probably we're gonna put Winter right here. Winter is not as interesting as Joker, but it's not as horrible as Hoop Dream. And now that I think about it, I think Hoop Dream, it might be a little bit worse than Kung Fu, actually. I'm not gonna lie. And Cube. So, yeah, Winter is a pretty solid level. I think that it was so much better with mystery boxes. I know they're not technically the same mystery boxes because there's 15 of them and they grant you like shields or something, and they like had like a wheel, a spin the wheel activity. But like the mystery boxes made the level so much more interesting. And then of course when they remove them, they just have an extra route with nothing on it, and it's just like, what the fuck is? Oh my god, how did they not see that coming? Then the usage of mini jump pads is just kind of interesting, but not really. I like how they make it accessible for a 1-star. Of course, the nerfed version is worse. I forgot about that. But it still doesn't make it worse than Illusion. But, I mean, the object usage is, frankly, terrible. Like, not only did Varying Christmas ignore a lot of objects, but this level just doesn't use some of them. There's the Santa skating effect, not used. The Santa chimney, not used. The reindeer is not used at all, actually. No fireplace, no bells, no stockings, none of that. And that's really disappointing. And because of that, yeah, I'm sorry. It's now that the more I talk about this level, the more I realize just how flawed it is. The music is okay, but it's just kind of generic. And again, like I know that they elaborate more on the melody, similar how they did in Varying Christmas, but the level relies a little bit too much on the like Ode to Joy. I don't even know what the original song is called, but it's just like, no, I don't like the song. It's kind of boring. It's not really that interesting. And I don't want to make this seem like it's a bad ending to 2017, because Varying Christmas is still a nice finale, and this is, of course, just a bonus level after all. But as a level itself, it's just not that great. It's just kind of mid. The original version was so much better, but the new version, the one that we have now, after like 3 different tweaks, is not very good. But even the original version had a lot of those flaws too. So, yeah, we're basically done. So we have the ranking for 2016 and 2017, and then maybe next time we can do 2018 and 2019 together, and then next time we can do 2020 and 2022. Of course, 2020 to 2022 is only like 12 levels, but I don't want to include 2023 because that's just a completely different era of Rolling Sky. But yeah, this can be called like the classic era, the introduction era. Then 2018 to 2019 is like the experimental cheetah era, and then 2020 is like that's when like Cheetah's like locked in. That's when they just like they're fully locked in on their production and they know what they're doing. And then of course 2023 is the Minimax era beginning. So yeah, I'm gonna stream 2018 to 2019, of course. But when do y'all want to see that actually? Because like I don't have a plan for it, and I have to go on a college visit this week, so I could like the earliest I could do this is like Thursday. But like I could do it at this time, and I could do it on Friday or on Saturday. Although I might be doing something on Friday night, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, this has been fun. I enjoyed it just as much as the last live stream. And actually, I enjoyed the last live stream more because there are so many god-awful levels that I enjoyed shitting on. But overall, this era of Rolling Sky is pretty solid. I enjoy, like, majority of these levels, and I'm actually going to put this one in actual dog shit because, yeah, it's not that good. I'm sorry. But, yeah, these are the only 2 levels that I just don't really want to see anything else of it again. And then these levels, it's bad, are just, like, they're just not very creative, kind of jumping on the hype train, not impressive. These ones are, like, they try, but they're not, like, they're not amazing, but they're just alright. Tetris should go up here. What am I even thinking? And then these ones are, like, yeah, solid, good stuff. This one wouldn't change a thing. Masterpiece. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I might do it. Okay, either I'm going to release the Mosaic video within a week, and then I'll do the live stream the week after that, or I'll just do the live stream next weekend, next Sunday. So yeah, one of the two options. It'll probably be the live stream next week because like, dude, this Mosaic video is just so it's so messy. I had to change so many things because so many different news updates kept happening, and I had to redo the video over and over again. So yeah, it's kind of a mess. But I mean, I still want to get that video out, but it's not really that relevant. I mean, like, the Mosaic video isn't essential because like he's not really around anymore. He was only brought back to make Twilight Car's Cave, and then he was let off the hook again. But yeah, I have to make that video. It's really important to me. So I'll do that. But yeah, here's the ranking live stream. Yeah. Can I even see the bottom of my screen? There we go. Okay, yeah. Yep. Pretty solid. I'm gonna be honest. At first, when I saw Twilight Car's Cave, I was like, how did Mosaic fall so far down? And then I looked at his other routes, and I looked at Chaos, and I looked at Eclipse, and other things that he did outside of the official game, and I realized that like Mosaic just wasn't really that spectacular to begin with. His levels came with a lot of hype, and he did some creative stuff. Especially, there's this one level he made, a flower dance based level in IIE, where he made like 3 floors, and it was a really cool level, and I loved it so much. That was an actually good level he made. But then I looked at the majority of his other routes, and I realized that yeah, they're pretty terrible to begin with. And then Twilight Car's Cave was just the combination of every single bad aspect of his routing. And I do think that it's a fitting end to Mosaic and his career in Rolling Sky. Like, I never liked the guy. He's a terrible person. He harasses people. He promotes harassment. He sides with, like, hackers and bad people. Mosaic is a terrible guy. And he sends death threats, and he makes fun of people's dead mothers. Don't respect the guy at all. But, in terms of his routing skills, I just think that, like, he was a little bit too overhyped, and then at the end, he kind of got karma'd into oblivion, and now no one likes his routes. And, yeah. Pretty fitting ending. But of course in the video I go a lot more into all this stuff with of course evidence, because I'm not going to call someone a harasser and a death threat sender without proof, because that would be super controversial. So yeah. I'm just going over some comments before I close stream. Listen, I mean, Maj Lilac, like, again, it's not that, how do I put it like this? This is going to sound really cynical, but, like, I hope people can agree that it's true. Co-creation is not based on your level of skill. I'm not saying that you're terrible, and so you can get into co-creation even if you're terrible. I'm saying that, like, Minimax overall doesn't care about route quality, because you've seen all the stuff that they do. Even if we don't all agree that Sewing Factory and Industrial Age and Twilight Car's Cave are god-awful levels, I think we can all agree that some levels in co-creation are just terrible. Some of them. We don't know which ones specifically, but with that in mind, like, Minimax doesn't evaluate the skill of their concept makers or of the routers or of the song composers, like Nyx, of course. That's one of the worst examples. They just, like, see someone who's friends with them or friends with friends. They hire them because they just, like, they hire people mainly based off of, like, the suspicion of, will this person glaze us or will they betray us? And sometimes there's people who have good intentions, but then Minimax doesn't trust them because they're not close enough with their friends. So they do something like what they did with Candy Girl, where they don't help her out and they just kick her off and they replace her with someone who they trust more. So I think that you can still get into co-creation, but you should probably try to be friends with some beta tester or someone who's affiliated with Minimax, someone who could recommend you, like how I got Galdonius to be recommended by Jet9. Like, it's best to have someone who will recommend you. And on top of that, it's best to make, like, at least 1 or 2 levels inside of Rollercraft, because that's the main go-to for getting foreign routers into the game now. They look at your Rollercraft levels as, like, a little investment of, like, your skill, and then they'll probably add you on to some future level. So yeah, it's possible. You don't have to be a spectacular router, but you know, you probably should have one connection, and you probably should make a Rollercraft level. But that's all the advice I'm going to give. Or you can just take the supposedly newly leaked editor APK and make your own levels and just have fun that way. Am I gonna rank the fan made levels? Let's see. Eliekins. I kind of rank them already, but I can like yap about them later on. Yeah, I'll rank the fan made separately, and I'll do that later in the year just to make sure that they don't add another fan made, because I don't want to do like ranking all fan mades from 2023 to 2025, and then a new fan made comes out at the end of 2025, because that would just be messy. So I'll rank it like later in like October or something, maybe back when I'm like, because I can see levels maybe around like 2 to 3 months ahead of advance. So by that point, I'll be able to know if they have a fan made coming out or not. So I'll know to make the video. And then another video that I'm going to make immediately once the level releases is the moment Comet Bound comes out, Trailblaze bonus. Then I'll make a live stream on that one where I rank all Season 2 co-creation levels. But in the time being, I'm going to do 2018 to 2019, and then 2020 to 2022, and then we can do 2023, 2024, 2025. And that'll be it. And hopefully by the end of that time, we'll be starting the 2026 levels. So yeah. We have a whole bunch of live streams to go through, which is pretty cool. And in terms of other live streams that I could do, I mean, like, I wouldn't actually be opposed to like getting on like a Discord call with some people who have a lot to say about Rolling Sky, and then we can just like talk it out over live stream about like specific topics and controversies and stuff, which wouldn't be terrible, but like it wouldn't be as interesting as ranking stuff. But yeah. Thank you for the core adventures. No. I'm going to stop you right there, Ellie Atkins, because don't listen to a single thing Color Fox says. Color Fox is an unreliable source. I know that he's part of the official developer team, but he is extremely unreliable because the developer team is unreliable themselves. They change their plans all the goddamn time. I'm telling you, the amount of times that Minimax has said they're going to stop Fanmades is like ridiculous. I remember after A Dream of 7 Years, they were like this wasn't an official statement because Minimax has never actually officially stated anything about Fanmades, but the officials in Minimax were saying, okay, after A Dream of 7 Years and Virtual Network, like we're done, because this is like the best level that represents the community. We're not going to add any more stuff because that would be biased. Lo and behold, Breezy Summer and Eclipse come out, and then Frozen Winter comes out, even after they said they were done after Breezy Eclipse and Eclipse. Did I say Breezy Eclipse? After Breezy Summer and Eclipse, then they added Frozen Winter, more professional block glazing. They sucked off professional block a second time, or actually a third time, because like they had other levels, like A Dream of 7 Years under their belt as well. And then they gave them musical theater, which isn't a fan made, but again, it's more glazing of the same exact people. And they still didn't stop there. Basketball, and then I was just like, what? Like, no one asked for basketball. The only reason they added basketball was because it's made by N3X, and that's the guy who contributed to the observatory concept along with Moon of Eden. And like, dude, like just the bias is just so glaringly obvious. Every single time Minimax says that they're done with Fanmades, they're never actually done. They keep going and going and going, and then they added Earthcore Adventure, and then of course again they said, okay, now we're done. Trust me, guys. But they're not done. The minute that someone who's close friends with them says, hey, can I please have my level in Fanmades, then they're just going to add it into Fanmades. Like, I know they're not done. So, I'm going to wait until around September or October, and by that point, I'll know if there's any more Fanmades coming in 2025, and then I'll make a live stream. But for now, like, yeah. And of course, like, I know I'm ranting a lot about, like, the bias behind Fanmades, but when I make that live stream, I'm not going to talk about, like, Mosek's personality or, like, Tenable's personality or any of the professional block people. I'm just going to rank it based off of the levels themselves, so that's not going to be a factor. In the same way, I don't want to get my personal view of the people involved with the actual quality of the level because they're two completely different things, and so you're not going to see any of that in the live stream. But, yeah, And another thing is that, like, this isn't, like, a foreign community complaint. This is an actual, like, thing across the entire community. Because around, like, Frozen Winter and the basketball, that's when even the Chinese community players were saying, okay, Minimax, like, this is getting a little bit ridiculous. Like, we all love professional block in the Chinese community here, but, like, no one actually asked for the basketball. And we already had Breezy Summer. We don't need Frozen Winter. Like, just, Minimax, please just stop. And then Minimax, like, of course, the officials, like, unofficially stated, okay, fine, we're done. Oh my! Whoa! Hey, Earthcore Adventure! Oh, I didn't see you there. And then they always make up bullshit like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we had this level planned from the start, but we forgot about it until now." Whoopity do. That's what they did with 3D Paradise. It's what they did with musical theater. It's what they did with Melodic Metropolis. They have these concepts that they just add out of the blue, and then they always pretend like they were planned from the start when they clearly were not. And I just think it's a really scummy thing. For Sneak 22's Melodic Metropolis, I don't consider it that bad because, again, he's not friends with them. They just added it because they were desperate to say, hey guys, look, we like foreigners. We added a foreign level, even though they put in like 0% effort into the concept relative to the other ones. But, I mean, yeah, I don't really like the way that they deal with Fanmades and adding levels at the last second. It's not very commendable. It's not respectable. And so, yep, but that'll be all for another live stream. Anyway. Yeah, the Mosaic video, I'm going to talk about Twilight Crest Cave and Mosaic as a person. Zaid, Hugo, please teach us how to get into co-creation. Again, like I said earlier to the other person, is that, like, you can get in, but you, A, should probably have a connection with a Minimax official, and B, you should probably make a level in Rollercraft just to demonstrate somewhat of your skill. And, like, hopefully Minimax will put you in for a slot, but there's no official way to sign up because, again, it's mostly based off of bias and last-minute decision-making. But it's really a roll of the dice when it comes to becoming a Minimax router. And, like, you can, like, the only reason I made an alt account is because Minimax blacklisted me and they're specifically looking for me. So it's not like y'all have to make alt accounts and sneak around their systems because they don't hate you. So it's fine. Like, you don't have to do the elaborate bullshit that I had to do. And all you need is a connection and a Rollercraft level or some kind of demonstration of your route skill. What do you think of the winter event back in 2017? This is a thing that Rolling Sky needs more of. They need more stuff that the players can buy. Like, I don't mean to turn the level... They should not turn the game into a pay-to-play game or a pay-to-win game. Like, they shouldn't lock more levels behind keys. But what they should do is they should add stuff that the players can pay for. For example, a spin the wheel thing. You can add a thing where the player can spin the wheel one time a day, and they get a thing from it randomly. And then you can add things like, do you want to pay 10 coins to spin the wheel again? And then you can add a coin system. So there's a whole bunch of ways for Minimax to get so much more money without ruining the experience of the player. They can just add stuff that's new and then make it, like, cost something. So the players aren't disadvantaged, but they can add extra stuff and become more successful in the game while also giving Minimax more money. It's a win-win situation. So going back to your question about the winter event, that's such a great idea. Make it so that mystery boxes can not only give you crowns, shields, and lives, but they can also give you currency. So you can earn stuff, and you can maybe, like, make it so that if you beat a level, you get currency. If you beat it a second time, you get double the currency. It's like, there's a whole bunch of ways to make it, like, so that players are more invested in playing the game, so that they get more, like, money, and then you can make that into, like, buying more characters, or you can even make it, like, dude, imagine, like, loading screens. Like, in the main lobby, they have, like, the mural that shows the new level, but why don't they just add it, why don't they just make it an option to select between any mural from the past history, or from the very original ones in, like, 2016, like, when they had the Halloween loading screen, and it was the skeleton sitting on top of the ball on the Halloween textured icon. Like, that was cool. They should make it where you can use any of those and buy it with coins. Like, that just works. It's such a great, like, currency system that doesn't ruin the player experience, and it gives Minimax more money. Or you can make it so that you can have lobby music. Imagine if you could, like, select any song in any level and that could be your lobby music. That would be cool. Like, there's so many things. And then don't even get me started with a level editor. Imagine if you made it so that you had to complete a level to earn more objects that you could use in the level editor. Or you could buy those objects with the currency, and that would give Minimax more money, and it would allow the players to enjoy the game more. There's so many ways that Minimax could earn money and make the game so much better, but they don't do it because they don't think about those specific things. Like, it's too much work. They don't want to do that. There was a time when Minimax was considering redesigning the entire UI for the Nirvana update, but then they just backed out of it because it was too much work. And Yeah, I'm sure the new UI probably would have looked terrible, but at least they would have tried to do something out of the box. But they could have done all these extra things like spin the wheel and currency and stuff, and it would make their game so much better, and people would play it a lot more. Or imagine another. Okay, this just came to my idea. They have weekly match, and they could add other things as well, like collecting, like destroying as much glass tiles as possible, or avoiding as many glass tiles as possible, or like other things. Like you could add a whole bunch of modes, like a speed mode where you're going twice as fast, and the more times you complete it, the faster the ball gets. There's a whole bunch of modes that could get you more currency, and they could cycle them between different days. Dude, like there's so many cool things that they could do with this game, and they just refuse to do it because it's too much work. But it would pay off so well, and they would get so much more money from it without ruining the player experience. And it's a shame because at the end of the day, Minimax is Minimax, as Eli Atkins says. Like, God, there's just the potential. The potential is just limitless. There's so many ways that they could make more money and make the players enjoy the game more. And this currency system would, again, it would motivate players to play more old levels. Or you could have a daily level where it picks a level at random that it hasn't picked in a long time, and then you get a little bit of extra currency from that. And then that would make the play, and then you could just pick any level that people have forgotten about, like Ginny or Horizon Cruise, and people would be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about this." It's a shame. It's a shame. Imagine if they had a mode where you could go backwards. Yeah, that'd be funny. Like, that would be so messy, though. I don't know how that would work when it comes to jump pads and stuff. Like, will the ball automatically jump even though the jump pad is 4 lanes backward? But I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I'm just looking through chat to see if there's any questions that I missed. Christmas Gospel is better than Golden Christmas? Well, we'll get to that in the next live stream. Afton. Oh, I have a lot to say about the end of 2018, but the early 2019 and late 2018 levels is a whole bunch of stuff that I have to say. Like, oh, it is so different than the rest of the levels, and I have a lot to say about that stuff, so you better gear in for that next live stream. I'm just going up a little bit. Yeah, so Matt MG, we're just going to do 2016 to 2017, that's this live stream, and then we'll do 2018 and 2019 together, or you might do them separately because there's a lot of levels in both years, and then 2020 to 2022 will be one single video because all that is only 12 levels from Kepler Stream all the way to Goblin Town, and then the true Minimax era will start with Jade Rabbit 2023, and there's so many levels in each year of Minimax that they have to be their own video per year. So it'll be 2023, then 2024, and then by the time I make the 2025 ranking live stream, we'll probably be in like the end of December. So yeah, and then on the side we'll be doing fan-made rankings and then co-creation season 2, and then I think the live streams will pretty much be done unless we do podcasts talking about controversies and stuff. But like, there's really not much else to do on live streams, or I could just like do regular live streams for when new levels come out and just play them, but that'd be kind of boring. I don't want people to watch me play a level for the first time. It's not really that interesting. Bro, like, I don't hate Volcano. Who's Zaid? I don't hate Volcano. I don't think it's, like, I don't despise playing it, but from an objective standpoint, I just don't think it's a good level. It's super messy, super unoriginal. It copies more routes than any other level in the entire game. The theme is boring. The music is boring. It repeats itself again, which is just a big, 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 big no-no. I hate the way it repeats itself. It doesn't sync at all. Just, it spams too much shake effect. I hate it. It's just bad. And I don't think there's anything that they could change to make it much better. Oh yeah, Winter uses the E-Labyrinth snake. I mean, like, sure. It's sure, whatever. I mean, it kind of fits. I think it fits because I used it for the Christmas theme in Technotica. But, like, it's just kind of, like, random. Like, sure, I guess. Originally, they used the snake so that you could partially hide the mystery box. But, of course, they got rid of the mystery box, so, you know, it's fucking whatever, I guess.
Why did I stop routing? Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I never thought my routing was that good, and I have a lot of creative roadblock. It took me a long time to make Polar Night Wandering, and I made some other levels too, which I'll reveal later down the line when the other people I worked with are ready to come out and reveal themselves. But I worked on some other Minimax levels in co-creation and mains, and I just, like, it's really hard for me to make, like, routes properly. And, yeah, there's another level that I'll work on that's just my own fan made. It's not part of the official game, but I think it'll be pretty fun. But yeah, I don't know. I do other stuff now. I just don't, I don't route very often. Yeah, routing is draining, Magma, especially if you look at, like, there's like a common thing across pretty much every single co-creation router is that, like, you'd think that Minimax would let their bias overcome them, and they'd say, hey, you routed this co-creation level, do you want to route the next 3 co-creation levels after that? Like, I feel like they would have done that for FO18 or Mosaic or someone else, but the reality is that even the most, like, glazed routers in Minimax, they get tired of it too. Like TCT, the moment when he finished Crescent Moonbeam, he didn't make another level for a long fucking time. Same with FO18. Like, the creative drain that a lot of these routers have is so great that they just almost never make a level again after their co-creation level. Same thing with Junipi. Junipi retired after Nuclear Energy. Frogby, I mean, I think he still makes levels, but, like, largely he doesn't do as much as he did before he made Parade Pageantry. Jet9 barely made levels after Radiant Shadow. And there's a whole bunch of other routers, too, who were already retired before their level was assigned to them, like Xiaozhou or Mosaic or, what was the other guy? Oh, yeah, the guy who made Industrial Age and the guy who made Sewing Factory. They were both retired by that point. So, yeah, most routers who do levels in co-creation, they get completely drained out, and they pretty much always retire after that. So it's kind of sad, but, like, that's just what co-creation does to people. I'm trying to think of some other routers that. Oh yeah, what WF? Bro just, like, quit routing after Lab Confidential. Again, I think he made, like, 1 level after that, and then he, like, participates in some collaborations, but then that only means he routes, like, 100 lines, like, every now and then. Like, he just Lab Confidential just, like, sucked all the life out of him. Oh Lord. I also didn't even talk about this. Mental Rave is such a strange name. Like, I didn't even think about it because it's been in the game for so long, but Mental Rave is just, like, it's something like Ron Weasley would come up with. Like, I don't know what kind of goofy English translations seep through the cracks in this one, but I mean, it's nowhere near as horrible as some of the Minimax translations, so I'm not even going to comment on that beyond just how goofy it sounds. Oh yeah, Sokka. Sokka was assigned to be a router in, like, March, February of 2024, and they kept pushing him back over and over and over again. I think it's because he was, like, leaking a few things, like app icons or future levels and stuff. So they didn't necessarily blacklist him officially, but they did kept pushing him back, and then eventually he kind of just gave up trying to become a router. But even to this day, he's still in the routing, like, groups, and he's just never been used. It's really strange, but he's been pushed back for well over a year and a half by this point. It's kind of sad because I think Sokka's a pretty good person. I don't really know why Minimax hates him so much. What happened with RST? Okay, let's be honest here. RST is he rolling fan made or professional block? I have him documented somewhere here. Lively Spirits, Milan Patrol, Lively Spirits, writing. Okay, he's part of Rolling Fan Made. He's not professional block. But essentially, Rolling Fan Made is a really old team that used to be really popular, like, from 2018. Like, Rolling Fan Made is the oldest fan made team. They made iconic levels like Christmas V2 or, like, Happy Birthday V2. Like, they just made a bunch of harder, crazier versions of existing levels, and they were the first people to gain access to, like, editing levels, like, manually through the coding and files. But, like, again, all those edits were pretty terrible now looking back on them. And Rolling Fanmade is just not a very good team at all. Cave is probably their best level ever made. Like, yeah, pretty much uncontested. Earthcore Adventure is probably their second best level ever made. But Rolling Fanmade has never been that impressive. And then you have RST, who's a member of that team, and RST has just never been a good router. I'm sorry. Like, I've seen a lot of his levels. I always like to research routers to see what else they do, if they're better or worse than they are in the official game. But RST has always been bad. I've never liked his routes, and Lively Spirits is just another example of his terrible repetitive slop. And I don't... It's kind of unrealistic to say that, oh, his failure in Lively Spirits is what made him quit the game. Like, no, I think he's just the same case as everyone else. He tried really hard with these routes, and then he got creatively drained. Like, he just stopped caring about making routes once he was done. Oh, yeah, Magic Cube. I forgot. Magic Cube is the best level. Sorry, what am I saying? Yeah, Magic Cube is great. That comes from, like, the revived Rolling Fanmade. That's not really the original team, but it's technically still Rolling Fanmade. Yeah, Magic Cube is the best one. I don't like how it spams a bunch of outer lane objects and tiles, but overall Magic Cube is pretty great. Circus is S tier. We'll get to that. Fun fact, actually, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll reiterate this in the next stream. This is actually a fun, disturbing fact. I was on a trip. Basically, I had a cat called Hugo. I'm not going to tell you if that's related or not, but I had a cat called Hugo, and he was like, I think he had like lung cancer or something. I don't even know. But one day he went outside, and then he got really sick. And so me and my mom went on a bus trip to like the middle of the mountains in like the center of China, and it was really nice. And we went into like, actually it wasn't nice in a like typical way. Like, it was nice to be there, but the places we stayed at were super run down and super sketch. But like, basically, I was on a trip, and then we got off a bus in the middle of the mountains in the middle of bloodfuck nowhere, and then I was told that our cat Hugo had passed away. And I was really upset about that, and I couldn't get over that for the rest of the night. But then we, like, in the middle of the mountains, in the middle of nowhere, there's this like concrete structure that we just like, it was abandoned, but then they had like beds inside of it, and it was still clean, but it was really strange. So then me and my friends all went in there and stayed the night, and then I looked at my iPad, and there's somehow still cell service all the way out there, and Circus had just released as a Rolling Sky level. And I was like, it's such a weird feeling being so emotionally like sad, but then you get like an emotional uplift of a new Rolling Sky level coming out. So it's just extremely conflicting feelings. And I played Circus, and again, this mixed feeling of like amazing and terrible just made the experience extremely weird. And looking back on Circus, even when I play it today, I still like get that same feeling because of like the traumatic experience that happened when it first released. But I'm not going to talk about that when it comes to actually ranking the level, because that's not actually objective at all. But yeah, I think Circus is pretty good. What are my thoughts on the new Polar Night Wandering? Terrible. I'm sorry, bro. It's so bad. I hate being put in this position because I'm a really egotistical guy, but like, I just hate saying, oh, my level is so much better than your level. So I'm not going to say that my level is better than the new Polar Night Wandering, but I will say that the new Polar Night Wandering is garbage. Like, I hate it. It's so bad. I have nothing against Horia Whiffer. Horia Whiffer seems like a nice, innocent dude who has no bias connections in Minimax. He was just pulled off the roster on a desperate attempt to replace the router, and I don't have any bad feelings against him. And on top of that, Horia Whiffer did try to pay homage to my original level. He tried to copy some things, not in a like shameless way, but in a way of like, I want to still like dedicate some, respect to the original router. Horia Whiffer is a great guy, but the routes are just terrible. Like, I can't beat around the bush in that way. Like, they're so messy. They just spam a bunch of diagonals, so many different types of moving tiles. You can't tell where you're going. Not in a castle in the sky way or E-Labyrinth way, more in like a just, what the fuck is this kind of way. Like, I just don't like the routes at all. They're so messy, and they don't sync at all, especially the theme change spam. Y'all already know how much I hate theme change spam and cameo themes in official levels, or not in fan-made levels, but also official levels. But this level does one of the worst examples of theme change spam. I hate it. It's gross. And it doesn't sync at all. The collectibles are so weird. They're really, really weird. Listen, listen, listen. I think it's the second crown. Oh, I'll talk about the first crown first. The first crown is extremely weird. The way you like maneuver around and then grab it behind a bunny. Like, what the fuck is this route making? Like, it's just so uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable level to play. And then the second crown, I like the idea of if you collect it, it doesn't activate the mover auto sequence, so you have to take a harder route. But it doesn't work because what the player sees is they see either the real way, the easy way, or there's just a crown sitting here. So it doesn't convey that same effect because the player gets the crown and it doesn't feel harder because the player already sees it and it's just as easy to collect as the easy way. So it's just like, it's just a badly designed crown. And the third crown is not very good either. For now wondering, the new version just sucks. It's really bad. And I hate to say that because I really like the guy who made it, but he has a lot of improvement that could be done. And I hope that he continues routing because he has potential. Just this level is not it. I'm sorry. I guess I don't like the new level. Lab Confidential, I used to hate the theme changes, and now I think they're fine, but I still they're still really messy, and I still don't like the red filter. It's just like no. I treat filtered themes like their own unique themes. Like nobody thinks of the Sci-Tech green theme as just a filter of another theme. Nobody thinks of the grayscale city theme as, oh, just a filter of the city theme. Like, no, people view those as their own individual themes. They don't view it as a filter over an existing theme. And the levels don't try and make it look like a derivative of another theme. They try and make it look like their own thing. So then when Melodic Metropolis and when Lab Confidential throw on their filters, it's not like they don't treat it like their own unique themes. They just treat it like a filter put on the camera, and I just hate that. It doesn't add anything to the level, and it just makes it look uglier. And thank God those are the only two levels that have done that. And then, of course, when Phantom Thief introduced the grayscale theme, they actually treated it like an individual theme in Foggy City. So the developers know what to do. The co-creation writers do not know what to fucking do with filter themes, and I hope that they do not allow filters in co-creation ever again. Fun fact, I know that I was watching some of the creative background when Jet9 was making Radiant Shadow, and initially he wanted to add in a green filter theme of one of the existing themes, and it looked so bad. I think you can find this on one of his playthroughs of the original beta version, but it looked so ugly. And then later on he changed it to grayscale, and it was a little bit better, but it was still pretty terrible. Thank God he just abandoned it. I think it was actually Square Root who suggested he just drop the whole filter thing. Because, yeah, I mean, it was better than Melodic and Lab Confidential, but it was still pretty bad. I'm glad that they dropped that. Now, Formless, you'd be surprised. A lot of people will, like, they're retired or they don't, like, have interest in routes as much, but then when the time comes for them to route a co-creation level, it's like they have an adrenaline rush. I know this because I've routed one, and I've routed other ones too, and, like, when you get assigned a level, you get like a crazy boost of energy to make something unique and interesting. Even if the level doesn't turn out great, a lot of these routers still feel that energy, and that's what drains them out. But it also means that before they start the level, they actually have a lot of motivation. So when the time comes when you become a router, trust me, you'll be ready to route it. Unless, of course, you're like fucking Mosek, who retired long before making the level. But, you know, you're not a retard like Mosek is, so it's fine. I've been like just fucking around this whole time. 3 minutes and 3 hours and 23 minutes. Interesting. Okay, that's a long live stream. Yeah, I'm gonna add timestamps to this video, so like anyone who watches this after the live stream will know like where they can look at and not just have to wait 30 minutes for me to yap about something completely unrelated. So yeah, I'll make sure that's the case. Yeah, Magma, so there are like 4 demos of Radiant Shadow, I think, maybe 5. But like the only reason for that is because Radiant Shadow was so different from the original version. The original Radiant Shadow, the themes were complete. There was no red and purple. It was like gray and like a little bit darker gray. Like the themes were so bad. And in the original concept, the background was white and the tiles were white, but the developers didn't even translate that into the original first demo of the level. They just made them gray. The objects were the exact same color in both themes, which just made it look even uglier. And then the developers tried to make the objects in the alternate theme green, which made it even worse. And then yeah, okay, I'll be back in like a minute. I'll be back. Oh, okay. Sorry. I had to set up an umbrella with my dad. So, okay. Okay, I gotta stop at some point, but yeah, let's just read more comments, I guess. PMW is Polar Night Wandering. Wait, you're from the Flower Dance update? Bro, you're like 2 years behind. That is crazy. Why don't you update the game? Oh, Lord. I'm not gonna try and pronounce your name. DYSRXIA. Yeah, I pretty much agree with all those, but I'll probably make some changes when I rank them. Making levels in Rollercraft must suck. I don't know. I've never tried making one. I don't care about Rollercraft. I've watched some of the official levels, but I just like don't like I don't have interest in them. I see Rollercraft as just a Rolling Sky 3. Like I don't see it as part of the official game. I just see it as a different game. Oh yeah, another issue that Minimax has now is Rolling Sky levels are by default have a yellow ball color and a red gem. So that means that if Minimax doesn't change the ball color and gem color manually, that means every single level that they don't change has a yellow ball and a red gem. And like here, there's a pretty nice variety. You have yellow, orange, blue, red, purple, all bunch of different colors. But then if you go down, you can see the crazy abundance of yellow. Like, look at all these yellow balls. All of these yellow balls here. Even some of the modern levels still have this issue. Like, where it's just a yellow ball and a red gem. And, like, there's so many yellows. And this is just a little random thing, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. So now that I've told you that the default color is yellow for a ball and red for a gem, you're just never going to be able to unsee it. Every time you see a level with yellow balls and red gems, you're just going to know that Minimax didn't bother to put the time in to customize the colors. And that's just a thing that I don't really like. Yeah, I'm sorry. I cannot help y'all with Rollercraft. I don't know anything about that. My experience with Rollercraft is very, very minimal. So, and I don't plan to touch that anytime soon. Of course, like, I've never used this method before, but I could use it. I could, like, make an alt account and then make a Rollercraft level and then use that to showcase my alt account. And then I could, like, get a recommendation from someone on QQ. But, like, it's not really a priority of mine. I already have another level that I've locked in, so I'll just wait for that to happen before I try anything else. What do I think about toy blocks? Usually I would save this for the ranking live stream, but, like, we're not going to be reviewing this until the end of the year. So, toy blocks is, I think it's really good in concept. I like how, like, all the objects kind of, like, click into place. Like, I love that when they do that in Castle in the Sky and other levels, where they just, like, make objects form in their spot. But, like, Toy Blocks' execution is just not very good. The objects themselves look so ugly. The colors are terrible. They're super low poly. Like, they have low design. And I know that it's supposed to be Legos, but there's so much more you can do with that idea. And it's so ugly. And then, of course, some of the animations are so basic and terrible. Like, the gate, literally, it's just the door goes up and down. Whereas before, we used to have, like, whole castles formulating in, like, Fairytale and stuff. But it's just so disappointing. And, yeah, Toy Blocks, the textures are terrible. The first theme looks worse than the second theme, so hopefully the bonus will look a little bit better. But, yeah, also the song is god-awful. The song is bad. Like, the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, okay, I'm liking this. And then it, like, started, like, the bass started hitting a lot harder, so the energy felt higher. And then I was expecting it to drop and become a lot more energetic. And then we got there, and then it just reverted back to the opening, like, tone. It just reverted back to the calm tone. And I was like, what happened to where was the drop? Like, why did it just go back to something boring? And that's an issue with Liga YB's songs in general, where he just doesn't make interesting, like, energy songs. They're just all casual, like, slow, boring, hippity-hoppity, happy-go-lucky songs, like Firefly Valley and Sugarfall. And I just, no. And Polar Night Wandering, that's not a good song either. Even though I got used to it after a while for playing the level so many times, I still don't like the music. It's really bad. And I hate that Liga YB is a song composer in Rolling Sky. The only reason he's still here is because they pay him half as much as the other composers, because that's his deal. He says that, I want to be in the game more, but you only have to pay me half as much. So that's why he's in the game so often. But I just hate his music. It's so bad. And it's so obvious that they pay him half as much because the quality is just half as good. But I'll talk about that later on. I hate his songs. Sugarfall does sound like a country song, but even country music sounds better than this shit. I'd rather hear it's that one Instagram stomp clap hey song that they play over and over again to make fun of 2011 stomp songs. But even that one is better than Sugarfall. Sugarfall just sounds like an aquarium background track in, like, the middle of California. I hate it. I hate Sugarfall's song. Everyone loves it. I fucking hate it. It's disgusting. No. I still hate Firefly Valley. You can like it if you want, but the music is also terrible. They have this, like, clicking noise, like just, it's like a little clicking frog-like noise. It's like if you had a wooden thing with grooves on it and you rubbed a wooden stick over it, and they play that the entire song, bro. Like, I don't want to hear this god-awful noise anymore. And then the melody is terrible. Like, and it does all this. I hate Liga YB and Lychee's music. Liga YB and Lychee are like best friends, and they like to pretend that they're the opposite person sometimes. But both of their song skills are bad. Like they always overuse sound effects like water droplets and like little clicking noises, and they always like to make the level sound so quirky and like goofy. And it gets to a point where it only works one time, and then it just never works anywhere else. Their songs are very bad, and the only reason Lychee isn't lower, in my opinion, is because he's held up by Broken Ring. Broken Ring knows how to take Lychee's music and make it better. Hence, Industrial Bass is a great song. But other songs from Lychee are not very good. I'm not gonna lie. Look no further than Abyss Traps and Out of Control. God, those songs are strange. But yeah, I don't like either of them. They're both really obnoxious, and they think they're so funny, and they're just not. Do I think Furnace is better than Industrial Age? Absolutely. Absolutely. Any day. I think Furnace is so much better than Industrial Age. And everyone hates on Furnace because the song is garbage. Yes, the song is garbage, and Industrial Age's song is better. But Industrial Age's routes are so terrible. And no one allows Furnace to give like the justice that it has, because it tries so hard to be better, and it's held back by the god-awful song. And it pisses me off, because Furnace should be praised a lot more than Industrial Age, and yet it's not. It's a shame. Yeah, Spirit, it's crickets. That's the best. Yeah, I don't know why that slipped my mind. It's just crickets. I hate that sound in the songs that they play. It's just, no, I'm sorry. And yeah, you're right. I do think that League of YB's songs are babyish. They do feel that way. So, here's the thing. I actually kind of like Abyss Traps, but I'm not going to deny that it has the exact same tropes as all other League LYB and Lychee's musics have. And again, the only reason I like Industrial Bass is because Broken Ring saves it. Broken Ring is a lot more, I've looked at a lot of his songs, he's a lot more into like dubstep and a lot more into like electronic music, whereas League LYB and Lychee are more into like baby, happy-go-lucky, like goofy, like child Teletubbies music. So that's why Broken Ring and Lychee are pretty good together. F77, he makes like a handful of good songs, and then he makes 100 other songs, and all those songs are just bad. Like F77, everyone praises him because he made Deadlocked, he made Airborne Robots, he made Viking Arena, he made the Seven Seas. Oh my god, he's so good. Yes, those songs are amazing. But then he also made Dino Disco, and he made like all of his Raptor 3 songs are just terrible. Like, they're so bad. And Furnace is probably the worst one. Oh, no, I take that back. System Fix, the one used for Mysterious Trail, that's the worst, one of the worst songs he's ever made. It's so god-awful. It's so repetitive. It's so boring. It's so nothing. A lot of his songs are just yap. Like, me talking sounds more interesting than a lot of his songs, because his songs just go on and on forever. They never try any more melodies. They don't do anything interesting. They use the same exact instruments, 100 other songs that F777 has made, and I'm not impressed. As for Creo is one of the most underrated musicians in the EDM community. I say that because he's really well loved, but he's not well loved enough. Creo should be on the same level of popularity as like Alan Walker and Marshmello. The fact that he's so low in comparison to them is an insult to the EDM community. Like, Creo is one of the greatest soundtrack composers of this generation. All of his songs are unique. They all have unique melodies. They all have their own unique energy. And some of them, even if some of them are like repetitive and boring, they still have something unique that no other song he's made before has done. Even levels that I initially thought were similar in their songs, like not Horizon Cruise, Red Horizon and Drift, they ended up being extremely different the more I listened to them, and I think that Creo is just extremely impressive, and I hope Minimax never stops hiring him for his music, and I hope that one day he makes an original song for Rolling Sky, because boy, I would love to see some shit like that. Like, he does make original songs for events. Like, he made, there's a song he made called Lost, and he made that for the Geometry Dash 10th anniversary. So he could make a song like for a specific thing like Rolling Sky, and I would love to see that happen. Yeah, Creo is a great soundtrack composer. And I mean, like, going back to F777, like Bandwagon, oh yeah, Firecrackers 2 is another one of his good songs. But Kung Fu, no. Like, I hate that. What, a Panda Smash? No, I hate that song. It's boring. It's terrible. And, what was the other? Oh yeah, Bandwagon. It's okay. But, like, wait a minute. which one was Bandwagon was Ginny, right? I think it was Ginny. Like if I'm correct on that, like Bandwagon, it's okay actually, and it has its own unique feel. But again, it's still just endlessly repetitive. Like it has one melody, and then the rest of it is just like noise, and it just keeps going and going more than Joker does, and it's just not. It just that's why no one plays the level because it's so repetitive and boring. Oh, I hate System Fix. I know that's a lot of people like that kind of genre of like boom clap boom clap boom clap music. I hate it. It's the ride symbol and the crash symbol is overused so much, and the fact that it's all digitized and it's not like a genuine sound effect from a real crash symbol, it makes it even worse because it sounds so flat and fake and hollow and dry. And this is coming from someone who can't even compose music, and I just know this stuff because like you don't have to be a music expert to understand like how low effort some of these songs are. But if you still like the style, then I can't blame you, I guess. Some people like that. That's just how it is. And again, all my friends would make fun of me for liking EDM songs in general, so it's all subjective in the end. I don't know why someone said on the topic of Dancing Line, because I was not talking about that whatsoever, and I cannot see a single comment talking about Dancing Line, but whatever. System Fix is the Mysterious Trail song. What's my opinion on Magic House? Okay, this is like the last level I'm going to comment on because we're going to talk about these all eventually. Magic House, 9.5 out of 10. It's going in the Masterpiece tier. It's going to go in the Masterpiece tier. No question. Like, it's going up probably right behind E-Labyrinth. It is going way up there. It is so good. Magic House is a beautiful level. And I love how simplistic it is. There's no extra tile variations. It's just the classic sliding tiles. It's just glass, and it just works so well. The objects are all amazingly animated. They have so much detail. The music, 10 out of 10 music. R Feather and TDX need to collaborate more often because that was a masterpiece of a song. I know their styles do not blend together, but somehow the song made them blend together. I don't know how they did it, but they just somehow transitioned from classical music to like just straight up Halloween EDM. I don't know how they made that transition feel so nice, but they did, and it just works so well. And then they transition into like the Phantom Thief style music where it has a lot of like electric bass, like improvisation in that middle section where they spam a bunch of Relics portals. Oh, just amazing, amazing, amazing. Relics portals, again, they're used perfectly. I like the invisibility gate. It's used pretty well. The sync, 10 out of 10. Perfect sync. Amazing. The textures, beautiful. I know Jet9 pointed out that the second theme has just they just hue shifted all the objects, but I think the hue shifts actually all fit perfectly, unlike Dino Disco. It just works amazing. I love Magic House. 10 out of 10. Like, in all areas except the ending. The ending feels half as long as it should be. The original drop, the first drop, is like twice as long as the second drop. So when you have the second drop, the level just kind of abruptly ends. And I wish that it was half, like they just had that one more section. Just one more additional section. And I know that they had to end it there because they didn't want to cross over the 2-minute 30 mark. But, like, they should have just done it. Like, the level ends a little bit too abruptly. But other than that, like, the level is just perfect. Like, it is really perfect. And, again, I love how there's no crowns. I love levels that do that and still manage to be interesting. Furnace didn't really succeed that well. Wizard of Oz kind of worked, but not really. But this level, Magic House, this is the first level without crowns in a while that I felt like, yeah, this just works so well as it is. Would change nothing except the ending. What's my opinion on Ghost? No, stop. I'll talk about these other levels when the time comes. Stop, I'm not gonna talk about Crisscross, I'm not talking about Ghost Warrior, I'm not talking about Circus anymore. We gotta stop right here. Because this stream is currently running on 3 hours and 43 minutes, and I need to do a lot of things. I need to set up my college trip, I need to go to the gym, I have so much stuff that I gotta do. And this is going way longer than I needed it to. So... Oh, I'm sorry, Lee. Like, you do not need to be right back because I'm about to end the stream in a couple seconds. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was all fun and games because, yeah, this was some sweet stuff. So, yeah, I will see all of y'all in the next video. Bye-bye. End the stream. Okay, bye.